No.
All right, everyone, just give me a moment. For some reason, my computer completely shut down. Everyone, please remain on mute. Just give me one moment. All right, everyone, happy Monday. Let's make this a happy Monday. Let's not turn it into one of those Mondays that make people say, shucks, let's just start this all over again. So these are the rules. You are in the 187th District Court. You need to behave as though you're in the court. So no matter where you may be physically, if it's at your home, if it's at a job site, if it's at the jail, you are in the 187th District Court. There is to be no laying in bed. If you're at work, you need to find a place that is quiet and be stationary. If you violate the rules of this court, if you do not behave professionally on this Zoom, your Zoom privileges will be revoked and you're going to have a bad Monday because you're going to be required to appear in the 187th District Court, which is located downtown at 300 De La Rosa on the 4th floor. And if you have to appear in court, what's going to happen is you're going to have to get the via bus, which means you're going to have to find change, or either you're going to get an Uber or a Lyft, or either you're going to drive down here. You're going to find there's a lot of construction going on downtown, a lot of one-ways as always. And then you're going to have trouble finding parking. And when you do find parking, it's going to be very expensive. So let's keep this a happy Monday. To all the inmates who are at the Bexar County Jail, you're not allowed to use the chat box. If you use the chat box, you will be sent back to your cell. You're not allowed to use the internet. If you use this internet at all, be it Facebook, pornography, or whatever it may be, you're going to be sent back to your cell. I'm going to open breakout rooms. When I open breakout rooms, it's going to invite everyone to go. Do not, I repeat, do not go to a breakout room unless I specifically call you by name and assign you to a breakout room. To all those who are defendants or accused, your attorney, when they go to the breakout room, they're going to want to speak with someone from the state before they speak to you. So please don't raise your hand and ask, can you go to the breakout room? Because when your attorney wants you in that breakout room, they will request you. To all of the defense attorneys, no matter how small your agreement is with the state, you need to put it in the chat box to the court coordinator. She's listed as Ferguson coordinator on the screen. She will need to get you whatever paperwork that's needed. Do not text her, do not chat her, do not call her, do not email her asking for continuances or resets. I'm the only person who can give that to you. To all defendants and accused, I'm going to call your attorney's name. I'm not going to call your name. If you do not hear your attorney's name, it is because your attorney is either Zooming in another courtroom or your attorney had to make an in-person appearance in another courtroom. Your attorney will appear though, and they will have a chance to speak to you. So there's no need to raise your hand and say that you do not hear your attorney's name. Trust me, we know the attorneys who are here and who are not here. Attorneys, I'm going to call your name. This is the order in which you'll appear. If you see that your name is low on the list and you wish to go to a Zoom to another courtroom, you're more than welcome to do so. However, if your name is called while you're Zooming in another courtroom, you'll be placed at the end of the list. Kurt May, John Disru, Sergio Ibarra, Sean Alpilzar, Teresa Conley, Tim Molina, John Gilmore, Bill Davidson, Tilden Schaefer, Leslie Sekwanowicz, Lorraine Efron, Luis Martinez, Jesus Lopez, and Patrick Lamas. Is there anyone whose name was not called? Any attorney? All right, attorneys, when I call your name, I'm going to need to know the name of your client. I'm going to need to know whether it's criminal trial division or family violence. At that time, I will send you to a breakout room. Prosecutors have the ability to move throughout the breakout rooms. If you leave that breakout room, the prosecutor will see that that room is empty. They will skip over it and they will go to the next room. So think of those breakout rooms as when you go to the doctor's office. When they call you to the back, you don't see a doctor right away. You're seeing someone to check your weight and blood pressure. So everyone, put some patience in your pocket and let's make this a great Monday. Kurt May.
Yes, we're here. This is Rogelio Espinoza, and I'm representing him along with John Gilmore. And yes, we're ready for a breakout.
All right. Is it criminal trial division?
Oh, it's family violence. Family violence.
I'm going to send you to breakout room number 2. And John Gilmore, I will send you to number 2. John Disru.
Morning, Judge. I have Destiny Nera. It's a burglary case. She's in the jail. If I could speak to one of the DAs.
Do you know if it's criminal trial division or family violence?
I think it's criminal trial, Your Honor.
And how do you spell the last name? It's N-E-R?
N-E-I-R-A. N-E-I-R-A.
All right, and let me make 1% sure it's criminal trial division. Because if it's not,
On the last page, Judge.
all right, thank you. Oh, it doesn't say. I'm going to send you to breakout room number 3,
Thank you, Your Honor.
and a prosecutor will meet you there. Sergio Ibarra.
Good morning, Your Honor. I have Matthew Velasquez this morning. It's CTD. We have an agreement with Meredith. I may just need to get into a breakout room with it really quickly.
I'll send you to number 4. Sean.
Hi, Your Honor. I'm actually 3L shadowing attorney Leslie Sahanowicz, so I would just defer to him if you please.
All right, Leslie Sigwanowicz.
Yes, yes, Judge. Oops. Yes, Judge, sir.
Yes, who do you have?
I have Lawrence Hall, 2021 CRs
Criminal
49,
trial division or family violence?
criminal trial division.
All right, I'll send you to number 4.
And you can send Shauna to number 4 too, it'd be great.
Yes. And Sean, how do you pronounce your last, Shauna, how do you pronounce your last name?
It's Alpizar.
Oh, Alpizar. Hey, well, welcome to shadowing and welcome to seeing if this is the type of law you want to practice.
Thank you, Your Honor.
You're welcome. I'll send you both to, I need to send you both to number 5. Sorry about that. Let me move you to 5.
Thank you.
And if you ever want to stop by the court, come on down.
Thank you.
Hello, Judge.
You're welcome. Oh, Leslie, I'm talking to Shauna, you know. But
I know
Leslie,
you are.
can come too.
I know. That's good.
Teresa Conley, who do you have? You're on mute.
Good morning, Your Honor. I have Albert Gary and his family.
Okay. All right, I'll send you to number 6.
Thank you.
Tim Molina.
Good morning, Judge.
Good morning. Oh, thank you for changing yours. I appreciate that. I'll send you to number 7.
Okay, thank you.
Bill Davidson.
Yes, Your Honor. I have a Joshua Jackson, and he's got it's not family violence. It's an indicted case. I'm not sure what the indictment is though, because there was 2 night mag cases, but it's not family violence. And then I also had a sentencing case, but I wanted to ask you a question on that.
Okay, Joshua Jackson is CTD.
Yeah.
And then what sentencing are you here for?
Well, I had a sentencing case on a Michael Padilla on 2020 CR 9259, but I had made a request last week to get the PSI, and I may have made the request to the wrong court. I'm not sure, but I was sent a note saying that the
All right,
sentencing was,
if you put your email in the chat box.
I already
Okay.
sent this morning.
Oh, Rebecca says she's already sent it to you.
I got the PSI, Your Honor, but I wanted to tell you something else, and I don't know if I should just tell you right here or maybe just tell you in the chat box or something.
All right, is this something that needs a prosecutor?
No, it's not, Your Honor.
Okay, then you want to put it in the chat box to me, or you want to go to a breakout room?
I'll put it in the chat box to you. It's just something that is a problem with me sensing right this minute.
All right, thank you. I'll send you to breakout room number 8 on Joshua Jackson.
Thank you.
But don't go till you put that in the chat box, otherwise I won't see it.
I understand. Thank you.
You're welcome. Tilden Schaefer.
Good morning, Your Honor. I have Kevin Lawwell, CLO, and we have a plea. And I've been working with Tom Nisbeth, and we out working on the paperwork.
All right, thank you. So I can send you and your client to a breakout room.
Perfect.
So I will send you all to breakout room number 9. Thanks for changing your name.
All right, you're welcome. Thanks.
Lorraine Efron.
Yes, Judge.
Yes, who do you have?
Joe De La Cruz.
You say Joe Dela Cruz,
Yes, ma'am.
criminal trial division or family violence.
Family.
I'll send you to number 10.
Thank you, Judge.
You're welcome. Luis Martinez.
Hello, Judge.
Hello. Oh, thanks for changing your name. I'll send you number 11.
Thank you, Judge.
Jesus Lopez.
Yes, here on Mr. Book, Criminal Trial Division,
I'm sorry, what's the full name?
Nathaniel Book.
I'll send you to number 12.
Thank you.
Patrick Lamas, thank you for changing your name. I'm going to send you to Lucky Breakout Room number 13.
Good morning, Your Honor. I don't need a breakout room. This is the case from last week
Yes.
regarding my client.
What? Regarding your
This-
client and what?
Yes, Your Honor. This is the client that I was here on Thursday and Friday for. This is the failure to appear. You gave her until today at 9 o'clock to arrive.
Okay, just give me one moment on that, okay?
Okay, yes, ma'am.
Sergio Ibarra, you back?
Yes, ma'am. Meredith is generating paperwork right now. She now has the email, and she says she's going to send it over to Norma to get paperwork over to our client. And so I'm going to give her some time to do that, Judge. And I'm just asking if I can zoom over to another court. I have a plea in a county court
Yes.
as well. Thank you.
And everyone, just give me a moment, please, while I delete some emails. All right, let me check the chat box. Bill, oh, there it is. All right, Mr. Davison, I'm going to send you to a breakout room. Let me see if there are any family violence prosecutors here. Who's the prosecutor you were dealing with?
On this case?
Yes.
I don't have that name readily available.
All right, so just as soon as they zoom in, I
Oh,
will,
Clinton Mallory, I'm sorry.
Clinton Mallory?
Malloy? This is Prosecutor Clinton Malloy.
Oh, Clint Malloy. I think he was just maybe filling out paperwork. I could be wrong, but we would check on that.
Okay. I'm
All right,
sorry.
thank you. All right, is there a prosecutor available on a defendant who hasn't shown?
Sure.
All
Tom,
right. Brent, are you ready? All right, the court is calling 2021 CR 5217, State of Texas versus Dorothy Preciado. Could I have parties announced for the record for the state,
Tom Nisbet,
for the defense?
Patrick Lamas.
All right, we're proceeding by video. Any objections from the state?
none.
Any objections from the defense?
No objections, Your Honor.
This case was first called on August 26th. The defendant was a no-show at 4:06 p.m. And on that date, this hearing was scheduled at 9 a.m. The court allowed for a reset to August 27th to see if the defendant would show. That hearing was scheduled at 9 a.m. The defendant again was a no-show. So what the court ordered was for the defendant to be here today and to be here in person or on Zoom at 9 a.m. It is now 9:40 a.m. There has not been a Dorothy Preciado on the Zoom. Deputy Laura or Deputy Mejia, has there been a Dorothy Preciado in the courtroom?
No, Your Honor, she has not.
Defense, have you had any contact with your client?
I'll say this, Your Honor. Since our last hearing, I have not. I have communicated via text with her mother and her sister, providing her the information about today's court date, but I haven't had any direct conversations since our last hearing.
All right. And did you have contact with her before?
Yes, Your Honor, I had. On Thursday, before the hearing on Thursday, I did have a call from her where I did speak to her about the hearing.
All right, state.
Judge, we asked for a bond forfeiture and a warrant.
All right, that'll be granted. Your client will be remanded without bond. If you're able to get in touch with your client and your client appears either in person or on Zoom, the court will reconsider.
Thank you, Your Honor. And if I do have contact with her, I'll let y'all know to see if, about setting up something for her.
All right, thank you. You're excused.
Thank you, Your Honor. Have a good day.
Thank you, you too.
Judge, I just sent you a chat.
All right, thank you. I see that. Thank you so much. All right, who is Felix Flores?
I'm present, Your Honor. Do you hear me, Your Honor?
And again, this isn't working. All right, Mr. Flores, can you unmute for me, please?
Okay, yes, ma'am.
All right, why do you think you're here?
For compliance, I had a relapse and I failed my breathalyzer. I feel ashamed of it. You know, I've been doing real good. I've been going to Celebrate Recovery, and I actually work with my sponsor. That's where I'm at right now. I'm doing home improvements, but I just feel terrible. I mean, I've been doing really good. I've just been through a lot these last couple of years. 5 deaths in my family, including my mother, 2 of my dogs, loss of my career. It's just been hard. It's been hard, Your Honor, and I get very emotional.
Well, I mean, everyone's having a hard time, but the problem is you're on probation and you're not allowed to drink.
Yes, ma'am, I understand.
Do you understand that? Do you understand that you go to prison for 4 years?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you want to do that?
No, ma'am, I don't.
So what are you doing to change? Because you have had issues.
Yes, ma'am.
You've been given treatment. You are supposed to call when you feel temptation, and you have not called. Your
I've been,
sponsor.
yes,
I mean,
ma'am.
you
I
didn't
have,
call your sponsor. Did you call your sponsor before you were going to take a drink?
no, I didn't. That I did not. And
Why not?
I felt the temptation, my enemy, the devil, man, and I just,
No,
you know,
here's the thing.
ma'am.
Then you're supposed to pick up the phone and call your sponsor. My question for you is, I'm reading it, your friend, who obviously is not your friend, does your friend know that you're an alcoholic?
No.
All right. Then that person is not a friend.
Yes, I
Because
agree.
usually your close friends know things about you that are personal.
Yes.
Your close friends should know. And honestly, alcoholic is not a dirty word, everyone, but you're an alcoholic. If you were not an alcoholic, you wouldn't be on probation for DWI third. If you were not an alcoholic, if you were on probation for DWI third, there would be no temptation to drink. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
So when you feel the temptation, you're not supposed to just throw up your hands and say, I'm going to drink. Your first thought should be, I'm going through something difficult. This is a trigger for me. This is usually what caused me to drink. And you're supposed to pick up the phone and call your sponsor. So again, we're back to the question, why are you not using the tools in your toolbox that have been given to you? Why didn't you call your sponsor?
That was bad judgment, John, or a bad decision. I mean, it was just, I'm very ashamed of it. I actually work with my sponsor, and he's also a good friend. He's heaven sent, and we've had some long conversations.
No. Let me just tell you this. It's not bad choices. There's a reason for why we make the choices we make. If I'm on a diet and I say I'm not going to eat chocolate and I have a sponsor and I eat chocolate, the reason why I don't call my sponsor is because I know my sponsor is going to say, Stephanie, I'm coming right over. Don't touch that chocolate bar. And so you knew if you call your sponsor is going to say, don't drink, go to an AA meeting right now, or don't drink, I'm on my way over. So again, we're back to why are you not calling your sponsor? Your sponsor is only as good as the information you give him or her. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
This is what we're going to do. Rebecca, on this case,
Yes, ma'am.
I want him, because I see he has the in-home device. How often is he using the in-home device per day?
3 times a day, ma'am.
All right. On that in-home device, Rebecca,
Yes, ma'am.
he's going to have to do it 6 times per day. Are you doing AA meetings?
I Celebrate Recovery, ma'am. Celebrate Recovery, and my sponsor also is a Celebrate Recover.
How often are you doing AA meetings?
I haven't done any AA meetings. I go to Celebrate Recovery due to, I like the Christian Bible-based.
Yes. He's going to do AA meetings, Rebecca, and he's
Yes,
going to
ma'am.
have to do 90 meetings in 90 days, and that 90 days starts today. If you miss or skip any of one of those tests, because what probation wants to do with you is probation wants you to go to, they want you to go to inpatient at SATA. So I'm telling you right now, if you skip any test, if you miss any of those AA meetings, and they better be documented.
Yes, ma'am.
And it's going to be 1 a day for 90 days. If you miss any of those, I'm going to get a report back, and you know what's going to end up happening? If that report is in the proper form and they tell me there's a problem, I'm going to say, issue a motion to revoke. I'm going to sign that motion to revoke. You're going to be picked up wherever you are, because the warrant's going to be issued for your arrest. You're going to be picked up either from your work, your home, with friends, with your sponsor or wherever. You're going to be picked up, placed at the Bexar County Jail. Either you will make your bond or you will not make your bond. If you don't make your bond, you're going to remain at the Bexar County Jail till we have a hearing on your motion to revoke. And you'll be looking at potentially going to prison for 4 years. So from here on out, each time you look at an alcohol bottle, each time one of your friends come over, you know what you need to say? If you don't want to call your sponsor, that's fine, you should. But if you don't want to call your sponsor, you need to ask yourself, is this alcohol drink worth me going to prison for 4 years? Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Do not come back here for any more of this. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
I'm going to send you to a breakout room, Mr. Flores. Do not leave that breakout room until probation goes over new conditions with you. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
I'm going to send you to number 14.
Okay, I'm not familiar with that, but I guess
It will
it'll,
pop up for you.
okay. Join. Okay. Yes, ma'am.
And wait there till probation comes.
Thank you, ma'am. God bless you and have a great day, ma'am.
Thank you. You too. Pedro Hernandez. You need
Yes,
to
Your
unmute.
Honor. Yes, Your Honor.
Yes. Why are you here?
I believe because I'm getting like real close to the end of my probation period, and I still have some money that I owe and some community service.
Yeah. So here's my question to you. Do you want to be
ma'am.
extended?
I feel like I need to a little bit. Yes, ma'am.
All right. Do you understand if your probation is extended, then you're going to have more money to pay? You understand all of that?
How much? If
No.
if you-
Here's my question for you. How
Okay.
much time do you need to complete your community service hours?
To be honest with you, Your Honor, that's really difficult for me right now because of the whole like COVID situation and everything. Like I still got to pay my bills. Like I don't really make that much money, even with like child support and all that. Like so, it's really hard for me to get out of work to go do my community service because I work Monday through Friday. I'm not.
Well, here's the thing. This is what I've been doing for everyone, and you can
Yes,
do it
ma'am.
or not do it. It's completely up to you. I'm not
Okay.
forcing anybody to get the COVID vaccine. If you want to get it, you can. If you do get the COVID vaccine and you provide proof to probation that you have the vaccine, and when I say proof, I mean if you're doing the one-shot COVID vaccination, then you completed that. If you're doing the 2 COVID shot vaccination, then you completed that, and the court will deduct 40 hours of your community service restitution if you provide proof of that.
Okay.
And then that would leave you with 60 hours. So Rebecca and Mr. Hernandez will extend him for 6 months, and let's see where we are at that time. Is that enough time for you, Mr. Hernandez?
I believe so. Yes, Your Honor.
All right. So we'll extend him for 6 months.
Okay.
Mr. Hernandez, I'm gonna put you to breakout room number 14. Do not leave that room until probation gives you your new conditions. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am. Thank you, Your Honor.
You're welcome. Have a great rest of your day.
You too.
Emmanuel Ponce. Emmanuel Ponce. Rebecca, do you see Mr. Ponce?
Yeah, he's in custody. That's why 14L, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay.
Judge, may I approach virtually when you have a moment?
I'm in the middle of something, but we'll let you approach after
Right
that
now.
point.
Yes, ma'am.
Hi, Mr. Ponce.
Yes, ma'am.
Just one second. Everyone needs to make sure they're on mute if you're not a part of this hearing. All right, Mr. Ponce, it's not working anymore. All right, Mr. Ponce, just give me one moment. And we will see what is happening with you.
15, 16. About the same age. Like 20. about 15. Same age, very.
All right, Mr. Ponce? Mr. Ponce?
Yes, ma'am.
Probation wants you to participate in the DDRF. And my understanding is you don't want to do that.
I don't know what I don't know what that is.
All right, so this is what we're going to do. We are going to let probation speak to you so they can tell you exactly what that is and go over that with you. You understand?
If I'm correct, ma'am, the last thing I heard, it's supposed to be an outpatient or inpatient.
No, it's not.
It's
But
inpatient.
But what I can tell you, it is inpatient. And I'm looking at your conditions here. And here's the thing. I tell people, I don't let people write their own programs because guess what? If everybody could write their own programs, nobody would be on this screen for violating their own programs. You understand?
Yes, ma'am.
So here are your choices. You can either follow the conditions that probation is recommending, or you can go to prison for up to 10 years. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, the last time that I spoke to you, you said that you were willing to give me a 4-year sentence on this.
No, time out. You're gonna have to talk to an attorney about that. I'm just here with regards to conditions. So Mr. Ponce, I'm gonna send you to breakout room number 14. Probation will explain to you what is being expected of you. And whether or not you do that or not is completely up to you. But I will tell you this, sometimes ships sail and that ship has sailed and you could be looking up to 10 years. So I'm gonna send you to breakout room number 14 and probation will go over that with you. And probation, you can go to number 14 now. Mr. Ponce, it should have popped up on your screen. Please go to 14. And everyone, just give me a moment.
Judge, can you make me a co-host, please?
Oh, I'm sorry. Yes.
Oh, okay. Thank you. I'm waiting for her to call.
All right, you need to make sure you're on mute, whoever that is. All right, Ed Baker, Kenneth Baker, I'm gonna send you to breakout room number 15.
Thank you, Judge.
Kelly Piddle, who do you have?
I have Christopher Rodriguez. He is here as Moto G stylist. It's a motion to remove GPS that was recalled from last week.
And who's the prosecutors on this?
It was Marcus, Judge.
Okay.
We have one witness.
Code 27 Delta, code 2.
Sorry, I forgot to change my name.
No problem. And I think Marcus may be out. Is he out? Is that correct, everyone?
I think he's one of the breakout rooms, Your Honor.
Okay, all right. Just
Yeah, I
give
think
us a
he's
moment.
back. I think he was out Friday, Judge, but I think he's back today.
Okay, all right, awesome. Everyone, just give me a moment. And Valentina Kogut.
Good morning, I'm here on behalf of Isaac Garza. It's a recall from last week. We are set for a plea today. However, Isaac Garza has not received the plea paperwork. I did verify the email address with the state. They do have correct email address, so I do not know.
Okay, is he going to be on Zoom or is he in the court? All right, Isaac Garza. Could you unmute yourself?
Ma'am,
Do you have anything in your email or no?
I went over my email, ma'am, 3 times this morning since 7:45 a.m. I did receive the email for the invitation for the Zoom this morning on this.
But any paperwork?
I didn't receive any paperwork, no.
Okay. All right. Who was doing the paperwork?
Marcos, Your Honor.
All right. Just give us a moment. We'll find out what's going on.
Valentina, did you receive the paperwork though?
Yes, and I executed
Okay.
it.
All right. We'll try to figure out where the paperwork is. It's probably somewhere in the world.
Then, okay, Mr. Garza, can you put your email address, type it in the chat box, please? And we'll make sure that we got it right. We maybe made a clerical error.
Yes, yes, sir.
All right. And Mr.
Thank you.
Garza, if you'll check that to the prosecutor that's listed as Tom Nisbet, it's MNISBET.
Thank you.
All right. All right. Any other attorney whose name has not been called? Rick Ramos, who do you have?
I have Mr. Rojas, Judge.
What's the first name?
Eduardo.
Criminal trial division or family violence?
Special crimes, Judge.
Who is the prosecutor in special crimes you were dealing with?
I was dealing with Oscar, but I believe he was going to ask Christian to show up today. He and
All
I
right.
did for earlier.
All right. We will see where they are.
Thank you, Judge.
I'll reach out to him, Judge.
All right. Thank you. Leslie Sekwanowicz.
Yes, Your Honor, we have a plea. I had conferred with Marcus this morning, my client and my client, and we have accepted the offer. Wondering if we could come back this afternoon. I have some other settings this morning.
Oh, we can get it done today if you put everything in the chat box to everyone. We'll do it this morning.
Okay, and while we're doing that, can I be excused and come back?
Well, you have to put everything in the chat box before you leave, because if you leave before you put it in the chat box, we won't have it.
I believe Marcus is indisposed right now, so I don't believe I've relayed to him that we would take the offer.
I'm
Well,
here.
I
If
mean-
you send it to me or Norma, we'll send it to the other person.
Okay.
And Mr. Sekwanowicz, for that
Yeah.
plea, you need to be back here before 11. I don't want to do that plea this afternoon, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
John
Anytime.
Disrude.
I understand. Okay, where's Marcus? There it is.
Hi, Judge. John Disard here. If I could speak to my client, Miss Nira.
All right, is she in custody?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, I'm going to send you to breakout room number 3, Miss Nero.
Thank you, Judge.
All right, and Marcus, are you ready for this hearing with Kelly Piddle on Christopher Rodriguez?
Yes, Judge.
Judge, I'm not sure if the witness is in the waiting room. Her name is Tommy Graves.
There is no one in the waiting room. Do you?
Okay, let me
Is there
check
a
this
Tommy
one.
Graves here? Yes, she's not here on the Zoom. Well, as soon as your witnesses are ready, let us know and we'll take that up.
Is it all right with the court if I go out to Seguin for an in-person hearing and come back at 11:30? Is that okay?
Is
That
your
way I
hearing
can-
going to take longer than 12?
No, it's 1 minute. It'll take 5 minutes.
Okay, sure. Yes, you may do that. All right, Tim Molina.
Morning again.
Morning.
I've conferred with Marcus. It's a first setting, and I asked him to run something by the complainant. And so if we could get just a short reset, I think he said even as short as a week,
All right.
that he can take care of that.
Norma, on Summer Bailey, could I have this recall for next week, please?
Yes, ma'am. I can do it on the 8th.
All right. We will see you all back on September 8th.
Judge, the 8th is I've got about 15 settings on the 8th.
You can't add 16 to it?
I don't,
I can do it on the 10th. On a Friday, the 10th.
that's much better.
Okay.
All right. I'm shocked at you that you can't do 16.
Mhm.
All right, we'll see you and your client on September 10th.
Is there any way I can go into a breakout room with Miss Bailey? She's at the jail, and then we can just be excused from there?
Yes. Well, no, she'll need to come back to the main room.
Okay.
So Miss Bailey, I'm going to send you to breakout room number 7.
Yes, ma'am.
You're welcome. Christian Newman, let me make you a co-host.
Good morning,
And the
Your Honor.
person good morning. The person you are seeing is Rick Ramos.
Yes, ma'am.
I'll send you all to breakout room number 19.
Thank you.
Thank you, Judge.
You're welcome. John Disrude.
Yeah, hey, Judge. I have an agreement with Mr. Morris regarding a plea on Miss Nira. So if we could just have the paperwork pushed over to us, we can get that signed.
All right, let me see where Hunter is. He's in a breakout room. Tom, is there any way you can email Hunter and let him know that John Disrude and his client are accepting the agreement?
Yep.
All right.
Except I let's do it the old fashioned way. Watch this.
It's funny.
Brenda, you know what that reminds me of? When your mom would
Judge.
say, hey, and see, Tom, this is what's going to end up happening to you. When you tell one of your children, hey, go tell so-and-so to come down for dinner, they're going to scream from the dinner table. And you're going to be like, I could have done that. But I could not have done that since you guys are on a completely different floor. All right, John Disrude, if you go back to your breakout room with your client, you should be receiving paperwork shortly.
Awesome. Thank you, Judge.
You're welcome. And I'm going to check my emails. All right, Richard Guerra, who are you here for?
Your Honor, I'm here on Lori Stelzig. Mike Sawyer is the defense attorney on it.
All right, we're just waiting for Michael Sawyer to zoom in.
Yes, ma'am.
Tell me to put something in the chat for you. Okay. Norma, I'm going to send you a chat.
Yes, ma'am.
Charles Bach,
Good morning, Judge.
good morning. Who do you have?
I have I don't have a matter on your docket. I have a needing a bond set matter. So I can.
What is the defendant's name?
Crystal, last name Gonzalez. The case number is 2019-6819.
Is it criminal trial division or family violence?
It is criminal trial division, Judge.
All right, I will send you to a breakout room. A prosecutor, if a prosecutor is available, they'll come meet you.
Okay, thank you, Judge.
You're welcome. I'm going to send you to number 5.
Love it.
You're welcome. Tim Molina. All right, we will see you then. You are excused.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Norma, can you let them know that L26 can go back?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, have a great rest of your day, Miss Bailey. We'll see you on September 10th. Thank you, Ms. Floyd. All right, bye-bye. All right, Rick Ramos, you're back on Eduardo Rojas. What is happening on that case?
Yes, we've conferred with Mr. Newman. We have an update from the Attorney General. The court had set this for a compliant, or I guess a status check on where we were with the data dump, Your Honor. The state has informed me that they expect to have the evidence back from the extractions by the end of September.
All right, Norma, can you recall Eduardo Rojas for, is it October 1st? Or sometime the first week in October? Put it towards the end of the week, first week of October.
Yes, ma'am. The 8th.
All right, we're going to come back on October 8th. And state, would you make sure that Mr. Ramos has access to whatever you have by that time? Well, before that time.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, if there's nothing else, you're both excused and your client will need to be here, Mr. Ramos, either on Zoom or in person.
He is in custody, Your Honor. If it's okay, can I be placed in a breakout room with him just to explain what's happening? He's a Spanish speaker. And then if I can be released from there, that'd be great, Your Honor.
Well, you'll have to bring him back to the main room.
Okay.
And what I'll do is I'll send you to breakout room number 1. Could you let your client know in Spanish to go to number 1, please?
Eduardo, te va a salir algo para que puedas ir al otro breakout room conmigo para hablar, ¿ok?
Déjame decir algo para que me mueva porque no tengo mouse.
Okay. He said he doesn't have a mouse, Judge.
Tell him to ask, Norma, can you have one of the deputies take him to number?
It looks like he's grabbing someone, Judge.
Okay. Okay, let me see. I think your client, yes, your client is now in number 1.
I'll join. Thank you, Your Honor.
You're welcome. All right, to the clerks, I'm going to send you an email. Could you please print that email out with the B page? And if you could have pull the file as well, please.
Yes, Judge.
Your Honor, I'm back for breakout room 5. I have an agreement with Charles Bunk. I emailed you, the court, well, I emailed you, Norma, and the clerks and him with the agreement.
All right, and the clerks are printing that out for me, so that will be signed.
Perfect. Thank you.
Thank you. And Mr. Bunk, if you don't have anything else with us, you are excused.
That's all I have for today, Judge. Thank you very much. I hope your family's okay in Louisiana.
Yes, they are. There's been some heavy rain, but electricity is still up and no flooding. Thank you so
Good.
much, though.
Amen. Of course. We'll talk to you later.
All right, bye-bye.
Okay, you can have, now I need to. Where did my-
All right, Robert or Melinda, I just signed the bond agreement.
I grab it right now.
All right, thank you. All right, Richard Guerra. I don't see Mr. Sawyer on the docket. I'm going to send you to a breakout room with Miss Ferguson.
Yes, ma'am.
And I'll send you to breakout room number 4, but I don't see him listed as being on the docket.
Oh, okay.
So we shall find out. Norma, could you go to breakout room number 4, please?
Yes, ma'am.
And Mr. Davidson, what is happening with Jackson?
Your Honor, I was given a 20-minute spell where they're going to check into that and then get back with me on that one. They need to check on something. It's going to take them 20 minutes to do so.
Oh, okay. All right, then. And then the next thing, who were the prosecutors on? Well, it's family violence. Family violence is not here yet. Just give us a moment on that. But I will. I'm sorry. Yes, Tom?
David is here. He's in a breakout room with a victim.
Okay. But let him know if that's on Padilla. Mr. Davidson is asking for a brief reset because there was some miscommunication for him on the actual date. And so his witnesses are not here. And the paperwork just came in on which one?
Okay.
I'll send you to that breakout room. Okay. All right, let me see what breakout room they're in. And I'll send you there.
Judge, we're back.
All right, thank you. And then for prosecutors, There is Luis Martinez on Pablo Cortez. He's in number 7. Jesus Lopez is in number 8 on Nathaniel Book. All right, Rebecca, on Felix and Pedro Hernandez, you're back?
No, I haven't gone to them. I was with Mr. Ponce in the other breakout room discussing the DDRF program.
Okay, I'll send you to number 14 then.
No, we already came back. He decided he will do the program.
Okay, all right, thank you. And then did you need to speak with Felix Flores and Pedro Hernandez?
Yes, I still need to go to him. I was in the breakout with Ponce all that time.
Okay, thank you. Do you want me to send you there or you have the
No,
ability?
I can go. I'll go
All right.
there.
Thank you.
Your Honor?
Yes.
So I'm about a month early. This is supposed to be September 30th and not August 30th. I'm sorry about that.
Oh, that's okay. It's always good to see your smiling face. Have a
It's
great
good to see
day.
you too. I sure will.
You know what? People love coming to the 187. So I think you made an excuse just to be here, but we welcome all.
Oh, that's right. Well, I'll see y'all later.
All right, bye-bye. And to the clerks, I'm sending documentation on Law Will to you as well. All right, Mr. Ramos, you finished with Rojas?
I did, Your Honor. So we are asking to be released.
All right, Norma, can you let them know that Rojas can go back? He's L6.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, thank you.
Thank you. May I be excused, Your Honor?
Yes,
Thank you, Judge.
you're welcome. And Brenda, maybe one day I'll get ink for my printer. Do you know the county is out of ink? So I can't print anything. I'm sending everything to the clerks and saying, would you please print? And watch, they're going to end up running out of ink. And then I'm going to get a return favor. Will you please print? All right, Tilden Schaefer, your paperwork should be going through.
Yes, sir. You saved me from typing a really long chat. Yes, I've already explained everything with the screen share to my client when I had it, and he has it now, but he's on a cell phone remotely. So I told him he wasn't getting the document to fill in. So I told him to leave the Zoom to conserve his bandwidth. He should be done in a minute, Judge.
All right, no problem. As soon as I have it, I'll sign it and we'll go from there.
Right. Now he's going to rejoin once he's sent it, Judge.
Okay. Valentina? Just, yes.
Yes, I believe we are ready to proceed. However, my client needs to be sworn in first.
Okay, as soon as we find your client, because let me see. Mr. Garza? I'm going to send you to breakout room number 1, and they will swear you in. Let me just find you on the Zoom. What breakout room are you showing in, Mr. Garza?
I have no idea. 20? No, I don't know.
Oh, I see you now. I sent you to number 1. A clerk will meet you there to swear you in.
Thank you.
You're welcome. And everyone, just give me a moment, please. Ms. Gonzalez? Could you unmute for me, please?
Yes.
All right. Ms. Gonzalez, your attorney is unable to be with us today. We're going to bring your case back on September 8th.
Okay.
All right. So we will see you then, and you will get a chance to see your attorney at that time. Okay.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you. Have a great rest of your Monday.
You too. Thank you very much.
All right. Norma, can you let them know that Irene Gonzalez can go back?
Yes, ma'am.
And Tilden Schaefer, your guy has zoomed back in. I'm going to send him to breakout room number 1. They can let you know and him know if they have all the paperwork, and if they do, they'll swear him in.
Okay, perfect.
right, everyone, just give me a moment, please.
Judge, I sent you a chat.
All right, thank you.
Clear.
Just give me one moment.
Yes, ma'am.
Everyone, just give me a moment. I'm signing paperwork and I'll be right with you. To the clerks, there's paperwork coming back on Niera. All right, who was asking to approach?
Judge, that was me, Luis Martinez.
Yes.
Okay, so Judge, Mr. Pablo Cortez Moncada.
Yes.
Okay, so the 227 granted are writs in this case that we've been waiting on. So this is going to get dismissed and refiled as a felony now. I know as a misdemeanor now.
All right, who are you conferring with?
Tom Nisbet.
All All right, Tom, is that going to be done sometime this week?
Yeah, Judge, we'll get it done this week. And then I told Lewis, probably pop up within the next 2 in the respective misdemeanor court.
All right, you and your client are excused.
Thank you, Your Honor.
You're welcome. All right, who are the parties on Kevin Lawwill?
Yes, Judge Tilden Schaefer for Mr. Lawwell.
I am Judge.
All right, let me see if this will work. We're gonna try it, Brenna.
Can I tell Mr. Ponce to go back to 14, please?
Yes, Mr. Ponce, you need to go back to breakout room number 14. I tell you what, let me move him to 11 so it'll pop up on his screen, Rebecca.
Okay, thank you.
And Meredith, you're on Kevin Lawwill?
Yes, Judge.
Yeah, so I mean, if I don't.
All right, everyone, please make sure you're on mute.
I'm gonna see what other arrangements are gonna be, see what's gonna go on.
I'm getting feedback from somewhere.
Yeah, that's fine.
The jail
Mr.
court.
Ponce, you need to go back to breakout room number 11. It should have popped up on your screen. I'm going to move you one more time. I'm going to move you to number 7. It should pop up on your screen.
There's nothing coming up.
All right, Norma, could you have someone at the jail place, Mr. Ponce, in breakout room number 7, please?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, thank you. All right, the court is calling 2021 CR 4317, State of Texas versus Kevin Lawwill. Could I have parties announced for the record for the state?
Meredith McIntyre for the state.
For the defense?
Tilden Schaefer for Mr. Lawwell.
All right, and are you Mr. Lawwill?
Yes, ma'am.
You're proceeding by video. Any objections from the state?
No, Your Honor.
Any objections from the defense?
None from the
No, ma'am.
defense.
Mr. Lawwill, I'm showing you what's entitled Defendant's Consent to Appear by Video Conference. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it and did you sign it?
Yes, ma'am.
Court will find that the court will find, I'm getting so much feedback. The court will find that the defendant has knowingly and voluntarily consented to appear by video. Mr. Lawwill, I'm showing you what's entitled Application for Deferred Adjudication or Community Supervision. Thank you. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it and did you sign it?
Yes, sir. Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Schaefer, I'm showing you what's entitled Discovery Acknowledgement. Have you received all the discovery in this case and did you review it with your client?
I have and I did, Your Honor.
Court will find that the state is in compliance with discovery. Mr. Lawwill, I'm going to show you what's entitled True Bill of Indictment. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Schaefer, do you waive the reading of the indictment?
I do, Your Honor.
State, are you proceeding on the indictment as presented?
State's waiving count 1 and proceeding on count 2.
Any
No.
objection? Mr. Lawwill, I'm going to show you what's entitled Court Admonishments and Defendants Waivers and Affidavit of Admonitions. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you
Yes, ma'am.
electronically sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand what you're charged with in count 2? Is possession of a controlled substance, penalty group 1, 4 grams to 200 grams. That is a second-degree felony. The range of punishment is anywhere from 2 to 20 years in prison and up to a $10,000 fine. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
If you have a plea bargain agreement with the state, the court does not have to follow your plea bargain agreement. If for any reason the court does not follow your plea bargaining agreement and gives you more than you bargained for, the fact that you entered a plea will not be used against you and you will be allowed to withdraw your plea. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state will call and the right to remain silent?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand by entering this plea bargain agreement, you were giving up those rights?
Yes, ma'am.
And did you intend to give up those rights and enter into a plea bargain agreement in this case?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand that the court would grant your application for deferred adjudication if for any reason your deferred adjudication were revoked? The court could find you guilty, not grant you community supervision, and sentence you up to 20 years in prison and up to $10,000 fine. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, has your client been able to provide you with any defenses to this offense?
He has, Your Honor.
Do you believe he has a rational as well as a factual understanding of the charges against him?
He does.
Do you believe he's currently competent and was legally sane at the time of the offense?
He was and he is, Your Honor.
Mr. Lawwell, has anyone threatened you, coerced you, or placed you in fear to get you to enter this plea?
No, ma'am.
Has anyone promised you anything other than the plea bargain agreement to get you to enter this plea?
No, ma'am.
Are you satisfied with the way you've been represented?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you a U.S. citizen? You're on
Yes,
mute.
ma'am.
The court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived his right to jury trial. Showing you the plea bargain page. Did you review that page with your attorney and did you understand it?
Yes, ma'am.
According to the plea bargain agreement, the state is proceeding on count 2, waiving count 1. They're asking for a $1,500 fine, recommending deferred adjudication, and restitution to SAPD for drug testing. Did you understand those were that to be the plea bargain agreement?
Yes, ma'am.
Defense, is that the plea bargain agreement?
It is, Your Honor.
State, is that the plea bargain agreement?
Yes, Your Honor.
Next, I'm showing you the paragraph entitled waiver repeal. Did you review that paragraph with your attorney? Did you understand it? And did you electronically sign it in both places?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand by signing that you're waiving your right to appeal? The only items that can be appealed are written pretrial motions that have been filed, heard, and ruled upon by the court. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, are there any such motions?
No, Your Honor.
Next, I'm showing you outside the plea bargain agreement. The state is requesting that your deferred adjudication be for a term of 5 years. There be a TAP evaluation, 120 hours of community service restitution, and no opposition to transfer to Victoria County. Did you understand those are recommendations from the state and the court does not have to follow those recommendations?
Yes, ma'am.
Then to count 2 in the indictment, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest?
Guilty.
State, any evidence to support the defendant's guilty plea?
State offers State's Exhibit 1 attachments.
No objection, Your Honor.
Mr. Lawwell, I'm going to show you what's entitled waiver and consent to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. Did you review those documents with your attorney? Did you understand them? Did you electronically sign them in all the appropriate places?
Yes, ma'am.
Again, did you understand you have a right to jury trial, right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state will call and the right to remain silent?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand that today the state will be presenting evidence in the form of witnesses' statements and police reports, but most importantly, there will be no live testimony? Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived and consented to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. Court will accept into evidence State's Exhibits 1 and attachments, and the court will review the same.
And Judge, I did have one matter. I apologize. I've been multitasking with the Zooms today. It's not in the written agreement, but it is the agreement. I think that the state would agree. When he was originally arrested on this case, there were 4 night mags, all out of the same. It's because it's different drugs. So I would ask just to confirm that we are taking into consideration the other 3 night mags, and I can give you those numbers. And I apologize, I missed this.
State?
They've already been dismissed some time back, but I need to.
I can verify in the system, Judge.
They're already closed. Yes. Yes, that's part of the deal. And yes, they're already closed.
Thank you, Tom.
I can give you the night mag numbers, Judge, so it's on the record, or?
Yes. What night mag numbers do you believe are being taken in consideration, defense?
Night mag 585815, 585816, and 585817.
State, is that part of the agreement?
Yes, Judge, and those 3 cases have already been closed.
And again, I apologize for missing this earlier, Judge.
No problem. It happened. Especially, and what better time for it to happen than on a Monday?
A Monday post-hurricane and,
Yeah, so,
and all the other craziness in the world, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
All right, after reviewing states exhibits 1 and attachments, the court will find there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty. However, the court will defer finding of guilt as you apply for deferred adjudication. Are we proceeding with sentencing?
Yes, Your Honor, we'd ask that. Waive the PSI.
Anything you wish to say on behalf of your client?
Judge, my client is gainfully employed now. He works construction and other jobs. This is the client who had the young child born about a month ago. He's back. That's why he looks a little tired. He was responding to my email at 3 a.m. up with a child. So he lives in Victoria, Texas. He's asking the court follow this, allow him to provide for his family.
Is he as tired as the mother of the child? Because she did the heavy lifting.
No way, not even close.
I mean, so let's not put any more fatigue on him than the person who actually had to deliver the child.
Oh, that not meant to be that way, Judge. It's just he's appeared a little tired to me. That's why I didn't want.
I mean, is he rolling over in bed and saying, "Hey, the baby's crying, you need to get up," or is he actually getting up and at least bringing the child?
I'll let him answer that, Judge. I don't know.
Okay, I don't know. I mean, you just put that. Well, I mean, your attorney is putting that out there that you're very tired because it's 3 a.m. I'm just trying to figure out what he's doing. You know. All right, Mr. Schaefer, you may go on. I didn't know.
I think I'm going to stop talking, Judge. I'm just kind of crashing and burning here. There were 2 ancillary matters, Judge. My client would like to, if it pleases the court, to be able to do some of his community service by paying for it, just because he's the sole breadwinner at the moment. And then he also lives in Victoria County. We'd ask that you allow him to transfer his probation to Victoria County if they'll accept him.
All right, Mr. Lawwell, can you unmute?
Yes, ma'am.
So what are you doing with the newborn?
I wake up around 3 in the morning and I feed them, and then we take turns back and forth every 3 hours. And then currently my kids are going to school too, so I wake up in the morning and get them ready to school. They started the first year. I got 2 toddlers in pre-K and kindergarten.
All right, and do all of these children live with you?
Yes, ma'am.
How old are your children?
I have a 3-week-old, a 3-year-old, and a 5-year-old.
Okay. All right, if you're drug tested today, what are the results going to be?
Dirty.
All right, what are you going to be dirty for?
Marijuana.
Yeah, I don't think marijuana is conducive to waking up and taking care of children. That's just me. I've never taken marijuana. I've never puffed it, never tried it and couldn't do it. I just never done it. So when's the last time you used marijuana?
About 3 weeks ago, 2 weeks ago.
All right, so here's the thing. Children are developing. Their brains are developing. Everything you do has an impact on their development. If you're smoking marijuana in the house, if the house smells like marijuana, that is impacting their development. And I guarantee you, no newborn, no toddler, no child who's going to school wants to smell like marijuana. And I know what people will say. Well, I use it on the balcony. Well, I'm not using it in the house. Trust me, your clothes smell like marijuana. The baby's clothes are going to smell like marijuana because you're in the house and there's marijuana. You understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Because people who smoke regular cigarettes, I can tell that there's a cigarette smoker in their house because I don't smoke. I'm allergic to it. It smells awful. So spare your children from having a horrible start in their life because their father wants to smoke marijuana.
Yes, ma'am.
Now, is the mother of the children smoking marijuana?
No, ma'am.
I hope not, especially if she's breastfeeding.
Yes, ma'am.
You understand?
Yes, ma'am.
So how much have you been smoking? You say you last smoked last week, but how much are you smoking on a regular basis?
Like once a day.
All right.
Like right before I go to sleep.
Yeah. So we're going to have to stop that. And you know what that tells me?
I haven't smoked in 3 weeks and I don't plan to do it ever again.
Yeah, but how old is your newborn?
He's 3 weeks.
See, so here's the thing. You shouldn't have been smoking while before he made his appearance in the world.
I understand.
Because again, that affects the mother, so it's affecting your child. Understand?
Yes, ma'am.
So we're going to be testing you for levels, and those levels had better start going down. If they don't, we're going to have a problem. I know people, marijuana, no big deal. Alcohol, no big deal. But here's the thing, while you're on probation and you're in Texas, you're not allowed to smoke marijuana. You're not allowed to drink, even if it's at your house, at a barbecue or whatever. You understand?
Yes, ma'am.
And I'm hoping you were not one of those people who did that crazy gender reveal where you're lighting fireworks and damaging property.
Nah.
All right. Because my thing for the gender reveal, you know what you do? You gather your family around and, hey, the doctors told us it's going to be a girl. Or the doctor told us it's going to be a boy. Cut the cake. It's pink inside or it's blue inside. All right. This is what the court is going to do. $1,500 fine. That'll be probated. 5 years deferred adjudication. Let me make sure Rebecca is here while I'm saying this. Rebecca, are you here? Rebecca's in a breakout room. All right, Tilden, here's your test. You need to write down everything that I'm saying. And when you go to the breakout room with Rebecca, you need to say it exactly the way I'm saying it. Only one attorney has passed this test, and that was Nathaniel Navy. All else have failed. So don't fail. You muted. Don't fail.
Okay, I'll try not to.
All right, so you need to let her know that we're going on count 2, possession, $1,500 fine, probated, 5 years deferred adjudication, transfer to Victoria County, 120 hours of community service restitution, 40 hours will be waived if he obtains the COVID vaccine. Here's the thing, Mr. Lawwell, not forcing anyone to get a vaccination. You can get it or not get it. But if you get it and you complete it, so that means if you have a one-shot one, which I think is Johnson, then that will be enough. If you have one that requires 2 shots, you need to have those 2 shots. If you present that to probation, and if you've already done it and you present it to probation, 40 hours of your community service restitution will be deducted. I'm going to want parenting classes. They're going to have you tested for levels with the drug use. And those levels need to start going down. So Tilden, you're going to tell her UAs for levels. And there's going to be a UA today before 3:30 p.m.
He's in Victoria, Texas, Judge.
Oh, there should be able to be something to coordinate.
I'm
Tilden,
just,
I know, Tilden, but you know what?
messing.
When we see obstacles, if we can't jump over them, we go around them or under them. But we make it to the other side. So we can make it happen.
I'll try to jump pretty high, Judge.
I appreciate it. And I'm not even asking for an Olympic high jump, just a regular jump that we regular humans do. So UA before 3:30 p.m. Mr. Lawwell, you can either report by Zoom, regular reporting by Zoom, or in person. So if your Zoom is not working, you're going to have to report in person. I'm going to want field visits, random, 2 times per month. Proof of employment within 15 days. No employment as a home healthcare provider or with minors. And there's restitution to SAPD for drug testing. All right, do you know, have you had any contact with Gabriel Castellano?
No, ma'am.
All right, there's going to be no contact with Gabriel Telano. I know I'm mispronouncing that. I have a trouble with my double L's. It's C-A-S-T-E-L-A. Sorry, C-A-S-T-E-L-L-O-N-A-N-O. Sorry, Brenna. So C-A-S-T-E-L-L-A-N-O. Mr. Lawwell, do you need anything else from the court in order to be successful on this probation?
No, ma'am. Thank you.
All right, I'm going to show you what's entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Rights to Appeal. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it? And did you sign it?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, because this is a plea bargain agreement, because I followed your plea bargain agreement, and because you waive your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, I'm going to send you to a breakout room with probation. Tilden Schaefer, do not let me down in that breakout room.
Just one last matter. Would you allow him to pay for some of the community service as well?
Let's do this. Let's see how he's doing on probation. And if he's doing well, I will most certainly consider that. But here's the thing, Mr. Lawwell, I'm not going to consider that if your levels for marijuana use don't continue to drop. If they rise, you're going to have to work those community service hours. So whether you work them or not depends on you. And Mr. Schaefer, you can let probation know that I'll allow him to buy out his community service hours if his levels are falling.
Okay.
All right. With that, we'll close the record. Mr. Lawwell, good luck to you. This is what you need to remember from here on out. Any decision you make, you need to ask yourself, is this something that could result in me going to prison for 20 years? You understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. I'm going to send you to a breakout room, and hopefully, Tilden, it's all up to you now.
Okay, Judge.
No pressure, but it is all up to you. I'm sending you to number 7. Brenda, how's he going to do?
Hey, pretty good.
All right. Mr. Lawwell, you need to go to breakout room number 7.
Okay. How do I do that? Because they didn't send me the invite.
Are you on a Android?
iPhone.
Oops, Brenda, iPhone is out of my wheelhouse.
Just touch the screen.
Okay. Oh, it says join breakout room at the top left.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome. All right. Who are the parties on Isaac Garza?
Marcus.
Valentina Kogut.
Okay. Brenda, we're going to see how that goes in the breakout room, because everybody, they go to the breakout room. They're like, I'm going to tell her exactly what you said. Then Rebecca comes back. She's like, please don't do that again. All right. Before we go on the record, Ms. Kogut, I'm going to need you to take down everything that I'm saying so you can tell Rebecca what I've ordered, okay?
Okay. Thank
you. I trust her. She's ready. All right. Court is going to call 2021 CR 6390, State of Texas versus Isaac Garza. Can I have parties announced for the record for the state?
Marcus Sanders.
For the defense?
Valentina Kogut for Mr. Garza.
And are you Mr. Garza?
Yes, ma'am.
We're proceeding by video. Any objections from the state?
None.
Any objections from the defense?
No, Your Honor.
Mr. Garza, I'm showing you what's entitled Defendant's Consent to Appear by Video Conference. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it? And did you electronically sign it?
Yes, ma'am.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily consented to appear by video. Next, I'm showing you what's entitled Application for Community Supervision. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it? And did you sign it?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, I'm showing you the discovery acknowledgement. Have you received all the discovery in this case, and did you review it with your client?
Yes, Your Honor, I have and I did.
Court will find that the state is in compliance with discovery. Mr. Garza, I'm showing you what's entitled True Bill of Indictment. Did you review that document with your attorney, and did you understand it?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, do you waive the reading of the indictment?
Yes, I do, Your Honor.
State, are you proceeding on the indictment as presented?
No, Judge, we're proceeding on the lesser included Class B DWI.
Any objections?
No, Your Honor.
Mr. Garza, I'm going to show you what's entitled Court Admonishments and Defendants Waivers and Affidavit of Admonitions. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you electronically sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, ma'am.
What you're charged with the reduction is driving while intoxicated as a Class B misdemeanor. The range of punishment is anywhere up to $2,000 fine and up to 180 days in the Bexar County Jail. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
If you have a plea bargain agreement with the state, the court does not have to follow your plea bargain agreement. If for any reason the court does not follow your plea bargain agreement and gives you more than you bargained for, the fact that you entered a plea will not be used against you and you will be allowed to withdraw your plea. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, if we could go off the record for a moment to the courtroom, could I have you come in breakout room number 1? And Mr. Sanders, if I could see you in 1, please. And everyone, just give me a moment, please.
Mr. Davidson, go to breakout room number 3, and Mr. Jackson, go to breakout room number 3.
All right, we're back on the record. All right, Mr. Garza, did you understand you have a right to jury trial, right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state will call them the right to remain silent?
Yes.
Did you understand by entering this plea bargain agreement, you were giving up those rights?
Yes, ma'am.
And did you intend to give up those rights and enter into a plea bargain agreement in this case?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, has your client been able to provide you with any defenses to this offense?
He has, Your Honor.
Do you believe he has a rational as well as a factual understanding of the charges against him?
In my opinion, he does.
Do you believe he's currently competent and was legally sane at the time of the offense?
I believe he is and he was.
All right. Mr. Garza, has anyone threatened you, coerced you, or placed you in fear to get you to enter this plea?
No, ma'am.
Has anyone promised you anything other than the plea bargain agreement to get you to enter this plea?
No, ma'am.
Are you satisfied with the way you've been represented?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you a U.S. citizen?
Yes, ma'am.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived his right to jury trial. Brenda, it is definitely a Monday. I'm going to show you what's entitled plea bargain page. Did you review that page with your attorney and did you understand it?
Yes, ma'am.
According to the plea bargain agreement, the state is proceeding on the lesser included offense of driving while intoxicated as Class B misdemeanor. They're asking that your punishment be assessed at 180 days in the Bexar County Jail. There's a $500 fine. There's no application for deferred adjudication. The state is recommending community supervision, and there's $60 to DPS for blood alcohol testing. Did you understand that to be the plea bargain agreement, Mr. Garza?
Yes, ma'am, I do.
Defense, is that the plea bargain agreement?
Yes, Your Honor. I believe there is also DW education.
Just 1 second. We have a problem. All right. Yes, that's outside the agreement, Ms. Docket. But did you understand that to be the plea bargain agreement?
Yes, Your Honor.
State, is that the plea bargain agreement?
Yes, Judge.
Next, I'm going to show you the paragraph entitled Waiver of Appeal. Mr. Garza, did you review that paragraph with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you electronically sign it in both places?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand by signing that you're waiving your right to appeal? The only items that can be appealed are written pretrial motions that have been filed, heard, and ruled upon by the court. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, are there any such motions?
No, Your Honor.
Next, I'm showing you outside the plea bargain agreement. The state is recommending that your community supervision be for a term of 18 months. There be a TAP evaluation, 100 hours of community service restitution, DWI education, VIP, ignition interlock for half the term of probation and parenting classes. Did you understand those are recommendations from the state and the court does not have to follow those recommendations?
I do.
Then to driving while intoxicated as a Class B misdemeanor, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest?
No contest, Your Honor.
State, any evidence to support the defendant's plea?
Yes, Judge. State offers State's Exhibit 1 and its attachments.
Any objections?
No, Your Honor. No objections.
Mr. Garza, I'm going to show you what's entitled Waiver and Consent to Stipulation of Testimony and Stipulations. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you electronically sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, ma'am.
Again, did you understand you have a right to jury trial, right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state will call and the right to remain silent?
I do.
Did you understand that today the state will be presenting evidence in the form of witnesses' statements and police reports, but most importantly, there will be no live testimony? Did you understand?
Yes.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived and consented to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. Court will accept into evidence State's Exhibits 1 and attachments and review the same. After reviewing State's Exhibits 1 and attachments, the court will find there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty, and the court will find you guilty of the lesser included offense of driving while intoxicated as a Class B misdemeanor. Are you proceeding with sentencing?
Yes, Your Honor. We would like to proceed with sentencing.
All right. Is there anything you wish to say on behalf of your client?
Yes, Your Honor. Mr. Garza is gainfully employed. Additionally, we would ask the court to follow the plea bargain agreement, and if it pleases the court, we would ask the court to allow him to buy out some of his community service hours.
Okay. All right, Mr. Garza, what do you do?
Do window tint.
Okay. So do you know what could have happened
I am
in
very
regards
aware.
to this? Are you aware of that?
Yes, ma'am.
I don't know why people, if you're going to drink, guess what? Just don't drive, walk. At most, what will end up happening, maybe if you're walking, is somebody may hit you because you may walk in the street. As a side note, people of San Antonio, I don't know why you cross the freeway. I'd never seen that before, Brenna, till I came to San Antonio with people running across the freeway. I was going 65 miles per hour on the freeway and had to slam on my brakes because somebody decided to cross the freeway. So if we could please stop doing that, the freeway should not be used for pedestrians to cross to the other side. But you hit a car, you could have injured somebody. And usually, I haven't done any true statistical analysis of this, but usually the person who's driving intoxicated, they walk away just fine, but they end up killing other people. So don't be that person. You understand?
Yes, ma'am. I
How old are
understand.
your children?
6 and 7.
So they could have ended up losing you either to prison because you've killed somebody drinking and driving, or, well, hey, this is the lecture you get because you did wrong. You
I
understand?
I
How old
do.
are you?
37.
Yes, so I don't want to hear the puffing of breath. If we had 37-year-olds who would behave as 37-year-olds and not act like they're a teenager, drinking too much, can't hold their alcohol, and getting behind the wheel of a car, we wouldn't have this lecture that I'm giving you right now. Because you know what? Everybody who comes before me, guess what? They say they realize what could have happened. Yeah, gee, it would have been nice if you could have realized that before you end up with these fine and fees you're going to have to pay, before you end up hitting vehicles. And that's the other thing. The vehicle that he hit, is there restitution involved with that vehicle?
Judge, I don't recall. I did the paperwork.
All right, because according to the police report I read, he hit a car in the parking lot. And then that car starts following him. And Brenna, if that car likes their car the way I like my car, that car will never be the same. Once you get a dent in it, it's never the same. You can pretend like it's all okay, but we know it's not. So I'm going to ask for restitution, if any, with regards to that vehicle that was hit in the parking lot. Ms. Kogut, of course, if something comes back where restitution is due and you don't agree with the restitution amount, we can have a hearing on that.
Yes, sir.
So $500 fine probated, restitution, if any, for damaged vehicle. Proof of employment within 30 days. There's to be no employment as a home health care provider or supervision of minors. $60 restitution to DPS for testing. 18 months, 180 days in the Bexar County Jail, suspended and probated for 18 months. 100 hours of community service restitution. 40 hours will be waived if he completes the COVID vaccine. And Mr. Garza, with the COVID vaccine, that's completely up to you. You don't have to do it. If you do it, then 40 hours will be deducted. If you've already done it and you present proof that you've done it, then 40 hours will be deducted. However, it has to be the complete regimen of the vaccine. So if it's Johnson & Johnson that requires one shot, then you're done. If it's Pfizer or the other that require two, you have to show proof that you've done two. DWI education course, VIP, ignition interlock for half the term of your probation, parenting classes, regular reporting by Zoom or in person. So if you can't Zoom one day, you need to report in person.
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Garza, if you're drug tested today, what are the results going to be?
I'll be clean.
And that's clean for marijuana and everything.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, there's going to be a drug test today. Before 3:30 p.m. And regular UAs if negative. All right, Mr. Garza, is there anything else you need from the court in order to be successful in this probation?
No, ma'am. Thank you
All
very
right.
much.
You're welcome. I'm going to show you what's entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Rights to Appeal. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it? And did you sign it?
Yes, ma'am.
Because this is a plea bargain agreement, because I followed your plea bargain agreement, and because you waive your right to appeal, You do not have the court's permission to appeal. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, Mr. Garza, from here on out, everything that you do, you need to ask yourself, is this something that can result in me going to the Bexar County Jail for 180 days? Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, good luck to you. Thanks for addressing appropriately for court.
Thank you very much.
All right, to the courtroom, we're off record. Ms. Kogut, don't let me down. I'm gonna send you to
I
the,
wrote everything down.
thank you. You know, so far, the only person who's done it correctly has been Nathaniel Navy. We're gonna see if Tilden Schaefer did it right. But to the courtroom, if you can go to breakout room number 7, please. And Mr. Garza, I'm gonna send you to 7. When you
Okay.
go to that room, just be patient because there are other people in there. All right, who are the parties on Destiny Nira?
Hunter Morris, Judge.
Okay. All right, who is your attorney, Miss Nira?
John Distrud.
Okay. I don't see John Distrud here. Just one second. All right, as soon as Mr. Distrud comes in, we'll take up your matter, okay?
Yes, Miss.
So
Thank
just
you.
wait patiently.
Yes, ma'am.
It's a Monday. And those can go back. Jesus Lopez on Nathaniel Book.
Yes, I'm back. We've received some videos. I think Mr. Spears is going to confirm whether or not there is any videos, any other further videos that exist.
Sanders. Why does everyone say Spears?
Yeah, because I was like,
Oh, I'm
is
sorry,
this-
Mr.
is Spears on
Sanders.
this case?
My apologies.
No, Sanders, that's something you need to take up with them. Okay, so what is happening with Mr. Book?
Judge, on this one, we were reset last time for video that I guess we had gotten, but we couldn't find. We got them again. Jesus looked at them. It seemed like there are videos missing. We requested all the videos, so I don't think that there are, but I told him to be just to be sure, I would reach out to the detective and the officer to, I guess, confirm that there are no missing videos. And the videos that should show the offense happening just don't exist.
Okay. All right, just one moment. So what we'll do is we'll recall this. How much time do you need?
A couple of weeks, Judge.
All right, Norma,
Yes, ma'am.
on Nathaniel Book, can you recall this in 2 weeks, please?
Yes, ma'am. I can do the 15th.
All right, is the 15th okay with both parties?
Yes, Judge.
Mr. Lopez, is the 15th okay?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, then you and your client, Mr. Book, are excused.
Judge, would you mind placing me in a breakout room with my client, and then we'll sign off after that?
All right, I'll send you to breakout room number 3.
Thank you.
Judge, this is William
Yes.
Davidson. Oh, sorry.
Yes.
Um,
So on Jackson, what's happening with, let's start with Jackson.
Well, he is interested in the deal, and so I just wanted to tell the DA that Hunter Morris. I didn't know what we could do today on it.
Oh, yes, we can do it today. I think we can.
I was hoping
I don't want
that.
to speak out of turn.
And then on that other case where
We're going to get a reset. I'm going to give you your reset. I'm just waiting for David Martin to zoom in.
Thank you.
And actually, it may be, there's David. David, I'm going to send you to a breakout room with Bill Davidson and Norma Ferguson. I'll send you all to breakout room number 1. He's going to need a reset on Mr. Padilla.
Okay. For what?
his witnesses are not here. There were some miscommunication issues. He takes full responsibility of that. Norma, could you go to breakout room number 1?
They've only had 6 weeks. But
Yeah. I hear everyone. So if you could go to number 1, David. All right, so on Destiny Nira, that is Hunter.
Yes, Judge.
Yes, Judge.
Okay. All right, John Disru.
Yes, Judge, I'm here.
When I give the sentence on this, I'm going to need you to write down everything that I say, and I'm going to need you to give that to the probation officer when I send you to the breakout room for the probation to go over conditions with her, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, don't let me down, John. The only person who's done this properly has been Nathaniel Navy. Everyone else has failed, so don't fail on me, okay?
Try not to.
Okay. All right, the court is calling 2021 CR 7573, State of Texas versus Destiny Nira. Could I have parties announced for the record for the state?
Hunter Morris.
For the defense?
John Distrud for the defendant. Your Honor.
Yes, and how do you pronounce your last name?
From Nita?
Nira, okay. We're proceeding by video because of the pandemic. Any objection from the state?
None, Judge.
Any objection from the defense?
No, Your Honor.
All right, Ms. Nair, I'm showing you what's entitled defendant's consent to appear by video conference. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it? And did you electronically sign it?
Yes, ma'am.
Court will find that the defendant has knowingly and voluntarily consented to appear by video. Next, I'm going to show you what's entitled application for deferred adjudication or community supervision. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it? And did you sign it?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, I'm showing you the discovery acknowledgement. Have you received all the discovery in this case, and did you review it with your client?
Yes, Your Honor.
Court will find that the state is in compliance with discovery. Ms. Niera, I'm showing you what's entitled true bill of indictment. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, do you waive the reading of the indictment?
I do, Your Honor.
State, are you proceeding on the indictment as presented?
Proceeding on count 1, paragraph A, Judge, waiving paragraph B.
Any objections?
No, Your Honor.
Ms. Niera, I'm showing you what's entitled court admonishments and defendant's waivers and affidavit of admonitions. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you electronically sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand you're charged with burglary of a habitation force? That's a second-degree felony. The range of punishment is anywhere from 2 to 20 years in prison and up to $10,000 fine. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
If you have a plea bargain agreement with the state, the court does not have to follow your plea bargain agreement. If for any reason the court does not follow your plea bargain agreement and gives you more than you bargained for, the fact that you entered a plea will not be used against you, and you will be allowed to withdraw your plea. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand you have a right to jury trial, right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call and the right to remain silent?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand by entering this plea bargain agreement, you were giving up those rights?
Yes, ma'am.
And did you intend to give up those rights and enter into a plea bargain agreement in this case?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, has your client been able to provide you with any defenses to this offense?
Yes, Your Honor.
Do you believe she has a rational as well as a factual understanding of the charges against her?
I do, Your Honor.
You believe she's currently competent and was legally sane at the time of the offense?
I do, Your Honor.
Ms. Nira, has anyone threatened you, coerced you, or placed you in fear to get you to enter this plea?
No, ma'am.
Has anyone promised you anything other than the plea bargain agreement to get you to enter this plea?
No, ma'am.
Are you satisfied with the way you've been represented?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you a U.S. citizen?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand if the court were to grant your application for deferred adjudication, and for any reason your deferred adjudication were revoked, the court could find you guilty, not grant you community supervision, and sentence you up to 20 years in prison and up to $10,000 fine? Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived her right to jury trial. I'm showing you the plea bargain page. Did you review that page with your attorney and did you understand it?
Yes, ma'am.
According to the plea bargain agreement, prosecution is proceeding on count 1, paragraph A, waiving paragraph B. $500 fine probated. State recommends deferred adjudication. No contact with Brian, Bryan, Benjers, Benjers. No contact with 127 Huerta Street in San Antonio, Texas, Huerta. Did you understand that to be the plea bargain agreement?
Yes, ma'am.
Defense, is that the plea bargain agreement?
It is, Your Honor.
State, is that the plea bargain agreement?
Yes, Judge.
Next, I'm showing you the paragraph entitled waiver of appeal. Did you review this paragraph with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you electronically sign it in both places?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand by signing that you're waiving your right to appeal? The only items that can be appealed are written pretrial motions that have been filed, heard, and ruled upon by the court. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, have there been any such motions?
No motions, Your Honor.
Next, I'm showing you outside the plea bargain agreement. State is requesting that your community supervision be for a term of 4 years. There be a top evaluation, 120 hours community service restitution, and the MIC-MYOF evaluation. Did you understand those are recommendations from the state and the court does not have to follow those recommendations?
Yes, ma'am.
Then to count 1, paragraph A, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest?
Guilty.
State any evidence to support the defendant's guilty plea.
State offer statement and attachments, Judge.
No objection, Your Honor.
Ms. Niera, I'm showing you what's entitled waiver and consent to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you electronically sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, ma'am.
Again, did you understand you have a right to jury trial, right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call them the right to remain silent?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand that today the state will be presenting evidence in the form of witnesses' statements and police reports, but most importantly, there will be no live testimony? Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived and consented to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. Court will accept into evidence states exhibits 1 and attachments and review the same. All right, after reviewing states exhibits 1 and attachments, the court will find there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty. However, the court will defer finding of guilt as you've applied for deferred adjudication. Are we proceeding with sentencing?
We are, Your Honor.
All right, anything you wish to say on behalf of your client?
Your Honor, I asked for and the prosecutor agreed for my client to get some mental health, to be mentally evaluated. I think she's got some issues with that and substance abuse. So I'm hopeful that if she's granted deferred adjudication probation, that she can avail herself of some programs.
All right, Ms. Nira, do you have any children?
Yes, ma'am.
What are their ages?
13.
So you have 1 child?
Yeah, that I know. Yeah.
Well, I mean, guys can usually say that they know of. Women can't say that they know of because.
Well, 3
I mean,
of a
usually-
blessing. 3 of a blessing. So.
Okay, so the other 3 you have, what are their ages?
I haven't met him yet. So.
Okay. All right, and Mr. Disru, do you feel okay with your client doing this plea? There's no competency issues, correct?
Correct, Your Honor.
All right, and no sanity issues at the time of the offense?
Correct, Your Honor.
All right, Ms. Nira, have you ever worked?
Yes, ma'am.
What were you doing?
I used to waitress before. So I just have waitress experience.
Okay, do you have any family members or family support?
Kind of, sort of.
Okay, what does that mean?
I mean, I have to learn to maintain on my own. So, you know, right now we're kind of in a wishy-washy state of our lives.
Okay, I usually say wishy-washy, and nobody ever knows what I'm saying, what mean when I say that. So thank you for using that term. Let me ask you, where is your 13-year-old right now?
She's with my cousin.
So has Child Protective Services been involved in your life?
Yes, they have. They've actually made me sign my rights over to my cousin. So she's in a good like environment and state.
All right, that's good. How far did you go in school?
I have some college experience.
And have you ever seen a doctor for mental health issues or no?
Yes, I have actually here in on and off. I have been hospitalized.
Okay. All right. Are you receiving SSI at all or no?
No, ma'am.
If you're released, do you have a place to stay?
Yeah, I'm gonna go see how my family's doing, and then I'm gonna just start getting on my feet to learn to maintain, you know, on my own.
All right. So to make sure that you're successful on this deferred adjudication, because I don't put people on probation so they can fail. I give them conditions that can help them with whatever issues they may have so that they can be successful, because I want you to complete it. All right?
Yes, ma'am.
So I'm going to send you to 4 years deferred adjudication.
Okay.
$500 fine. That will be probated. There's to be no contact with Brian Bengiers and no contact with 127 Huerta Street. And Miss Nera, I want you to realize many things could have went wrong with you just climbing through a window of a house and taking a bath in someone's bathroom and they don't know you. You understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. 120 hours of community service restitution. I will waive 40 hours if she receives the COVID vaccine. Miss Nera, I'm not requiring anyone to do the COVID vaccine, but if you do it, and if you have done it and completed it, they'll deduct 40 hours of your community service restitution.
I believe
Yes,
she has, Your Honor.
Yes,
All
ma'am.
right,
I
so-
have done the COVID-19.
All right, just provide proof of that to probation and 40 hours will be taken off.
Yes,
Proof
ma'am.
of employment within 40 days of release from custody. There's to be no employment as a home health care provider or any employment involving minors. Parenting classes. You must do parenting classes. If you complete the parenting classes, then the court will allow for the remaining community service hours to be waived. You understand?
Yes, ma'am.
There's to be a MIC, mouth evaluation, and that will take place while you're in custody. We're going to reset you so that I can make sure that's done and you're just not sitting at the jail, all right?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you able to report by Zoom, Ms. Nera?
I'm pretty sure that I could find something electronically to do it.
All right, so you're gonna have to report regularly by Zoom or in person. If you can't do it by Zoom, you need to do it in person, all right?
Yes, ma'am. Is there any way that I could get like some type of paperwork, or where can I go to stop by to get the paperwork to where I can sign in and sign out?
Oh, no, they're gonna make sure, I'm gonna send you and your attorney to a breakout room and probation will give you that information.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, are there any drug issues, Ms. Nera?
I do smoke marijuana and I do methamphetamines. So,
All right, so when's the last time you used?
Before I got incarcerated.
All right, so I'm gonna do outpatient treatment. We'll start you with that. and we'll do regular UAs. If you feel like you need some other help so that you won't use marijuana or meth, just let probation know.
Okay.
And you know what, John, I'm going to do a referral to felony drug court, because if she does have mental health issues, felony drug court can do a dual diagnosis evaluation on her. And
Okay,
that
perfect.
may be quicker than the McMouth evaluation.
Perfect.
And Ms. Nira, felony drug court, they will be able to help you with drug issues, mental health issues, housing issues, employment issues. They'll be able to help you with all of that. You understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, so John, if you could let Rebecca know that I want her evaluated for felony drug court first.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, Ms. Nira, is there anything else you need from the court in order to be successful?
No, ma'am.
All right, I'm going to show you what's entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Rights to Appeal. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it? And did you electronically sign it?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, because this is a plea bargain agreement, because I followed your plea bargain agreement, and because you waived your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
And Mr. Disford, let Rebecca know that that felony drug court evaluation will take place while she's in custody. And Ms. Nero, felony drug court will probably be able to see you this week.
Okay,
evaluate.
so there's no way that I'm leaving today.
Not today, but I want you to be honest with felony drug court about your mental health issues and also about your drug issues. Because if you're honest with them, the process can move quicker, okay?
Okay, so in about a week, that's when I'll be heading out.
Yes, they will come and see you. If we can get it in today, they'll probably see you sometime this week to evaluate you. But the process is going to take longer if you're not honest with them. You understand?
Yes, ma'am.
And all of this is to help you, all right?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, we can go off the record. So, Ms. Nira, I see you have a neck tattoo.
Yes, ma'am.
Is that a lot of writing?
No, it just says my mother, Elizabeth Lineda.
All right, was that painful?
No.
Oh, okay. You're the first person who said it wasn't painful. See, Brenda, that's another case where your parents tell you not to get a tattoo, and then you say it's your name, and you're like, I want to be angry with them, but I can't because it's my name.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah,
Ms.
I know when
Nira,
I got it, the guy was like, this is the first time I've ever done it, and someone's actually taken it.
Okay. All right. I'm going to send you to breakout room number 7 with your attorney. And John Disru, don't let me down.
I won't. I've taken good notes, Judge.
Okay. So I'll send you to number 7. And Ms. Nira, I just need you to be patient when you go to breakout room number 7, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Leslie Sekwanowicz.
Yes, Judge, I'm back. If I'm ready to go over the paperwork with my client, Mr. Hall, and I've been assigned to breakout room number 11, but we can't seem to find Mr. Hall.
All right. Is your client in custody or on bond?
He's in custody.
All right. Norman, can you figure out where Mr. Hall is or have Mr. Hall brought, please?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. And Tilden Schaefer, I will see you in breakout room number 1.
Yes, Judge.
Your Honor.
Just give me one moment, Ms. Conley. Just when I say 1 moment, I mean like 4 minutes. I'll be right back.
Okay.
Yeah. All right, Ms. Kogut?
Yes, Your Honor. I would like to bring to the court's attention that Mr. Garza uses CBD, and the concern is he might get tested positive for marijuana if he gets tested today.
Sure. Just tell him to get the test and those levels need to start going down.
Okay, thank you.
All right, and just let probation that he's probably going to be positive, but those levels need to start going down, and tell probation that I want him tested for levels.
Thank you.
All right, thank you. Teresa Conley.
Good morning, Your Honor. I know we're not supposed to call you or talk to you, but I've been in a breakout room for 2 hours and 40 minutes and nobody's come in.
All right, so here's the thing. David Martin is having a little trouble with his computer. So I'm going to send you to breakout room number 3 because David Martin is on the screen.
All
so
right.
I'm going to send you to number 3.
Thank you, Judge.
You're welcome. Let me find you on the screen. Yes, there you are. All right, David Martin, are you able to go to breakout room number 3, please?
Yeah, and Bill Davidson and I are back on video also.
All right, on Padilla, what's happening with that?
Norma said Thursday morning.
All right, so we will see you on Thursday, and your client, let me see what this agreement is, just a second. Is your client in custody?
No, Your Honor. I think he should have logged in. He's not in custody.
No. So on this one, the state is silent on his application. He needs to be in the courtroom.
Okay.
So, Mr. Padilla, you need to appear in the courtroom. And when did we say this was, David Martin?
Thursday.
All right, Mr. Padilla.
Yes.
You're going to need to appear in the courtroom. It's the 187 District Court, and you're going to need to appear on Thursday. And
Thursday.
is it Thursday the 2nd, David and Bill?
Yes.
All right, so yes, September 2nd. Do you understand?
September 2nd, Thursday.
At 9 a.m. in the 187 District Court. So you need to physically be in the courtroom, okay?
Right, 187 District Court.
Yes, on September 2nd.
Correct, at 9 a.m.
Yes.
Okay.
All right, then you are free to go.
Judge, I had my other case, Joshua Jackson. I didn't know if you wanted to start doing stuff on that today or maybe another day. I don't know.
No, if it's going to be a plea, they'll get the paperwork to you.
I'll jump into a breakout with you, Bill.
Okay.
Room 5.
Okay.
All right, and then Teresa Conley, David is in 3, and then Lorraine Efron is in 4.
Okay.
All right, Sergio Ibarra.
Yes, Your Honor. We just completed the paperwork on Mr. Velasquez's case. Should be heading to the court any moment now.
If I have it, and I do. To the clerks, I have paperwork on Velasquez.
You didn't say leave.
So it's Velasquez. Okay.
And Your Honor, on that one, I emailed Robert and Sergio. There was one correction that I needed made, but if it can't get done, we can do it. It's about the license suspension.
Okay, as soon as the clerks give me the paperwork, I'll find out which part needs to be changed. You all just let me know and I'll make that happen.
Okay, thank you, Judge.
You're welcome. Leslie Sekmanowicz. You're on mute.
Oh, I was gonna say, I'm still looking for Mr. Hall. Was Norma able to locate him?
Yes, they're going to get him for you. And
Okay.
Matthew Velasquez, I'm going to send you to 1. Probation will, the clerks will go over the paperwork with you and swear you in. And everyone else, don't worry. If your attorneys have not appeared yet, we will bring you back for this afternoon. Michael Gross.
Good morning, Judge. How are you?
Good morning. Okay, this is discovery compliance with David Martin.
Yes, that's
So,
correct.
do you have all the discovery or no?
Not yet, Judge. I filed last week an agreed protective order that CPS sent. I spoke to the regional counsel for CPS, Marilyn Bradley, and she said if you would be kind enough to sign off on it, she has and I have, and if you'll sign off on it, then CPS will provide me the information.
Have you sent that?
Yes, Judge. I filed it last week, and I sent a query just now to the clerks to see if they had it for you.
Okay, what I'm going to do is I'm going to send you to breakout room number 1. If you will be patient in breakout room number 1 and ask the clerks if they have that paperwork.
Judge, before I go,
yes,
believe it or not, I have something in presiding that I have to be back in 3 minutes on for a short ruling, but then with your permission, I'll be right back from that.
All right, well, I will tell you this, the court is taking its break at 12:15.
All right, Judge, I'll be back well before then.
All right, thank you.
Thanks, Your Honor.
Kelly Piddle.
Hi, Judge. I'm sorry for being late for my 11:30. I apologize.
No, who did you have?
I have Christopher Rodriguez. He is present with Moto G Stylus 2021. And hopefully the witnesses in the breakout in the waiting room, it's Brittany Graves.
Okay, let me see. Yes, Brittany Graves is here. And who is the prosecutor on this?
That's Marcus, Judge.
All right, Marcus, let me know when you're ready to proceed.
Just 1 minute, Judge.
Sure, no problem. And Leslie Sekanowicz. Oh, he is in number 11.
I'm ready, Judge. Thank you.
Okay, just give me 1 moment. Let me send Hall to number 6. Let me see, Brenda, if I can get Mr. Spears on. There he is. I don't know why people call you Spears all the time. I don't know. All right, how's your client listed, Kelly?
Moto G Stylus, parentheses, 2021. He's in a jacket and a checkered shirt.
All right. Court is calling 2021 CR 7773, State of Texas versus Christopher Rodriguez. Can I have parties announced for the record for the state?
Marcus Sanders.
For the defense?
Kelly Piddle.
All right, and are you Christopher Rodriguez? If you could unmute for me, please.
Present, Your Honor.
Yes. Are you Christopher Rodriguez?
Yes, ma'am.
We're proceeding by video because of the pandemic. Any objections from the state?
None.
No, ma'am. It's not wishy-washy at all. Oh, sorry. I had to turn it, my ma'am.
Any objections from the state?
No, Judge.
Any objections from the defense?
No.
Mr. Rodriguez, any objections to this hearing taking place by video?
No, ma'am.
All right, everyone, just 1 moment. All right, we're here on a motion to remove GPS. State, have you had a chance to review defense's motion?
Yes, Judge.
All right, State, are you ready to proceed?
Yes.
All right, defense, is your motion. You may proceed.
Defense calls Brittany Graves to testify, Your Honor.
All right, Ms. Graves, if you can unmute for me, please. Could you raise your right hand? Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you give will be the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
You.
You can lower your hand, and if you could state your name and spell it for the record, please.
My name is Brittany Graves, spelled Brittany, last name Grav as in Victor, ES.
All right, defense.
Ms. Graves, how do you know Christopher Rodriguez?
I know him through a mutual friend of ours, Joey Lissy.
Okay. How long have you known each other?
I can't say exactly how long, but a few years.
Okay. And it's your understanding that he is on, he has a GPS monitor on his ankle and he's under full house arrest?
Yes.
Okay. And based upon your friendship and your knowledge of his financial situation, does he have bills that he is unable to pay?
Yes.
Okay. And is he struggling for money due to having this ankle monitor?
Yes.
Does he have employment that is potentially could happen should this ankle monitor be removed?
I know that he is supposed to have an interview with Lyft and Uber Eats. He's also have been applying to and been in contact with and trying to get an interview set up for them.
Okay. And do you know if he's had any problems with the ankle monitor in regards to violations for leaving his house?
No, I don't think he's had any violations or any problems with it.
Okay, thank you. I'll pass it with us.
Say.
No questions, Judge.
All right, defense, your next witness.
We have no more witnesses, Judge. We rest on this motion.
All right, State, any witnesses or evidence?
No, Judge.
All right, the court will hear argument. Defense, it's your motion. You may begin.
Judge, Mr. Rodriguez has been on full house arrest GPS for multiple months now with no violations. We're asking the court to remove GPS as a condition. He's not a flight risk and he is financially becoming unable to support himself and his family given the ankle monitor and the full house arrest GPS. So we ask that the court remove the device from his ankle.
All right, State.
Judge, in speaking with defense counsel Kelly, I told him it appears that GPS wasn't initially ordered on the aggravated robbery, aggravated case. It was ordered after he picked up the new offense, the number one. We're currently evaluating the aggravated case to see if it's one that we will still proceed on. So as far as GPS on the case, I guess we would leave it up to the court's decision.
All right, what's the, is this aggravated robbery case one that has been indicted or not indicted?
It's indicted, Judge.
All right, to the courts. Do you have a cause number?
Yes. It's 2020 CR 1432.
All right, to the clerks, could I have cause number 2020 CR 1432, please? Thank you. So is he on GPS for the aggravated robbery or no?
Just the new case, the first degree drug case, Judge.
I thought it was for the aggravated.
You. All right, State, do you have any objections to the defendant being allowed to work while on GPS?
No, Judge.
All right, I'm going to deny removal of GPS, but the defendant is allowed to work.
Will the court consider waiving fees since the client is indigent?
Yes. So I'll do partial GPS. Defendant is allowed to work. Are there any zones he should not be in? I'm assuming the aggravated robbery. I don't know anything about that case. I don't know if there's a, well, I'm sure there's a complainant that's associated with that case, but I don't know if there's any specific no contact orders that are on place in that case or not. State.
That often occurred in my client's home, Judge, or alleged to have occurred.
That's correct, Judge. And so I don't think the complainant's address is a concern as far as excluding it. And there's already a no contact for the complainant.
Okay, so partial GPS, defendant is allowed to work. Waive GPS fees.
Judge, would the court consider doing tracking just for the fact of Uber and Uber Eats and all those? I could foresee pretrial having an issue with, it's not a 9 to 5 at one location type of job.
All right, State.
No objection to tracking.
Okay.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
All right. So what I'll do is deny removal of GPS, tracking only. Waive, defer, place on indigent status for GPS fees. So if they're unable to waive the fees, he should fall under one of those categories, either getting his fees deferred or either placing him on indigent status with the GPS.
Thank you, Judge.
All right, Norma, do we have a date for these cases that are coming up on the regular docket for Mr. Christopher Rodriguez?
Judge, the drug case is on September 23rd and the aggravated robberies in October.
All right, Norma, can you put, I'm assuming these cases need to run together. However, I think that October date is a jury trial date. Is that correct?
That's correct.
All right. All right, then you are excused and your client is excused. Norma, we'll keep the dates in the system as they are.
Okay, yes, ma'am.
Thank you, Judge.
Your Honor.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Yes.
Judge.
You're
May I
welcome. Thank
interrupt
you. Have a
you,
good
Your Honor?
rest of your day. Just a
Thank you.
second.
Are we excused, Your Honor?
Yes, thank you.
Thank
Yes, Ms. Conley.
Your Honor, I conferred with David Martin. Your Honor, Albert Aguirre has been in jail since he was in court with you for the sentencing. You went from one county to another. Obviously, Mr. Martin has to verify that. So we're asking for a couple weeks continuance. But also,
Okay, where was he?
he was in Wilson County and then he was in TDC and then he got bench warranted back here. So he's been in jail nonstop. That's, but I have nothing to prove it. And that's what Mr. Martin is checking.
All right, you want to speak to your client? Your client is on the screen.
You want me to speak to him?
No, my question is, would you like to speak to him? He's on the screen.
I'd like to speak to him, but I'd also like to ask if he could get a free bond because a PR bond
No,
because
I'm not giving anyone a PR bond for violent offenses.
Okay, Your Honor, thank you. I'd like to speak to him then.
Sure, and if you can confer with him and let me know what the plans are for this case, because this is a motion to revoke. So if you can let me know what the plans are. I'm going to send you to breakout room number 1. Mr. Aguirre, if you could go to breakout room number 1, please. All right, who are the parties on Matthew Isaiah Velasquez?
Me, Your Honor.
We're present, Your Honor, ready.
Thank you. Mr. Gross, you have your hands up.
Judge, I was back to go to that breakout room with the prosecutor on the protective order and the motion on the ankle monitor. I had to leave to go to presiding for just a minute, and I'm back.
Okay. I'll send you to a breakout room. I'll send you to breakout room number 3.
Thanks, Judge.
You're welcome. All right, and then before we go on the record, Mr. Davidson on Mr. Jackson.
Yes, Your Honor. I was asked to ask for a reset for this for Thursday also because they wanted to look at the lab results on the GWI case he had that haven't come in yet. And if there's certain, they may TIC that case.
Okay, Norma, and when we say Thursday, are you talking about September 2nd?
This Thursday, yes.
All right, Norma, on Mr. Jackson, can you recall that for September 2nd, please?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you need to speak with Mr. Jackson before we let him go back?
No, I don't.
All right, Mr. Jackson, we're going to bring you back on September 2nd.
Thank you, Judge.
You're welcome. Have a great Monday. Norma, can you let them know that L8 can go back?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, Mr. Davidson, you're done with us for today. Thank you so much. Have a great rest of your Monday.
Thank you, Your Honor. You too.
All right. And Norma, we're just waiting for the attorneys on Esther and on Colderman.
I'm sorry, Judge, what were you saying? The Joe was talking to me.
We're waiting for the people on Colderman and Esther and Dela Cruz. Like, where are their attorneys?
Okay.
Thank you. And Brenda, we'll see if we can get this to work. Brenda, it works. I don't know why sometimes it takes like 3 tries. All right, the court is calling 2020 CR 12351, State of Texas versus Matthew Isaiah Velasquez. Could I have parties announced for the record for the state?
Meredith McIntyre for the state.
For the defense?
Sergio Ibarra from Mr. Velasquez.
And are you Mr. Velasquez? Could you unmute for me, please?
Yes, ma'am.
We're proceeding by video because of the pandemic. Any objection from the state?
No, Your Honor.
Any objection from the defense?
No objection.
Mr. Velasquez, I'm showing you what's entitled defendant's consent to appear by video conference. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it and did you sign it?
Yes, ma'am.
I'm gonna need to make sure that you speak up so everybody can hear you. The court will find that the defendant has knowingly and voluntarily consented to appear by video. Next, I'm going to show you what's entitled application for community supervision. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it and did you sign it?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, I'm going to show you the discovery acknowledgement. Have you received all the discovery in this case and did you review it with your client?
We have and we did, Your Honor.
Court will find that the state is in compliance with discovery. Mr. Velasquez, I'm showing you what's entitled true bill of indictment. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, do you waive the reading of the indictment?
We do.
State, are you proceeding on the indictment as presented?
The state waives count 1. We will be proceeding on the state waives count 2. We will be proceeding on count 1 of the indictment.
Any objection?
Objections.
And I'm so sorry. State, you said there was a issue with the Texas driver's license suspension part?
Yes, Judge, we had originally put 2 years, but in the code, when a defendant is under 21 years, it's 90 days. So that's what we needed it to be changed to.
Okay.
And that's been explained, Your Honor, to my client, and we understand and are in agreement.
All right. And you said 90 days?
Yes, Judge.
All right. Mr. Velasquez, I'm going to show you what's entitled Court Admonishments and Defendants Waivers and Affidavit of Admonition. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it? And did you electronically sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, ma'am.
You're charged with the offense of intoxication manslaughter. That's a second-degree felony. The range of punishment is anywhere from 2 to 20 years in prison and up to a $10,000 fine. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
If you have a plea bargain agreement with the state, the court does not have to follow your plea bargain agreement. If for any reason the court does not follow your plea bargain agreement and gives you more than you bargained for, the fact that you entered a plea will not be used against you and you will be allowed to withdraw your plea. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state will call, and the right to remain silent?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand by entering this plea bargain agreement, you were giving up those rights?
Yes, ma'am.
And did you intend to give up those rights and enter into a plea bargain agreement in this case?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, has your client been able to provide you with any defenses to this office? I'm sorry, to this offense?
Yes, he has, Your Honor.
Do you believe he has a rational as well as a factual understanding of the charges against him?
I do.
Do you believe he's currently competent and was legally sane at the time of the offense?
I do.
Mr. Velasquez, has anyone threatened you, coerced you, or placed you in fear to get you to enter this plea?
No, ma'am.
Has anyone promised you anything other than the plea bargain to get you to enter this plea?
No, ma'am.
Are you satisfied with the way you've been represented?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you a U.S. citizen?
Yes, ma'am.
Court will find that the defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived his right to jury trial. I'm showing you the plea bargain page. Did you review that page with your attorney and did you understand it?
Yes, ma'am.
According to the plea bargain agreement, the state is proceeding on count 1, waiving count 2. They're asking that your punishment be assessed at 10 years in the prison. There's a $1,500 fine. There's no application for deferred adjudication. State recommends community supervision. And there's restitution, if any, to Griselda, Griselda Flores, and SAPD for blood testing. Did you understand that to be the plea bargain agreement?
Yes, ma'am.
Defense is that a plea bargain agreement?
That is our agreement.
State, is that the plea bargain agreement?
Yes, Your Honor.
Next, I'm going to show you the paragraph entitled Waiver of Appeal. Did you review that paragraph with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you electronically sign it in both places?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you understand by signing that you're waiving your right to appeal? The only items that can be appealed are written pretrial motions that have been filed, heard, and ruled upon by the court. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, have there been any such motions?
No motions, Your Honor.
Next, I'm showing you outside the plea bargain agreement. The state is requesting that your probation be for a term of 10 years. There be a TAP evaluation, 200 hours community service restitution, 120 days in the Bexar County Jail, DWI education course, VIP live, ignition interlock for half the term, regular UAs, and 90 days Texas driver's license suspension. Did you understand those are recommendations from the state and the court does not have to follow those recommendations?
Yes, ma'am.
Then to count 1 in an indictment, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest?
No contest.
State any evidence to support the defendant's plea.
State offers State's Exhibit 1 and all attachments.
With no objections, Your Honor.
All right, Mr. Velasquez, I'm going to show you what's entitled Waiver Consent to Stipulation of Testimony and Stipulations. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you electronically sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, ma'am.
Again, did you understand you have a right to jury trial, right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state will call and the right to remain silent?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand that today the state will be presenting evidence in the form of witnesses' statements and police reports? But most importantly, there will be no live testimony. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Court will find the defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived and consented to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. The court will accept into evidence State's Exhibits 1 and attachments, and the court will review the same. And I'm done with those. All right, after reviewing State's Exhibits 1 and attachments, the court will find there's sufficient evidence to find you guilty, and the court will find you guilty of count 1. We're proceeding with sentencing.
Your Honor, we are asking for, I believe the PSI and TAP evaluation would be necessary so we could address any of those determinations at sentencing.
And yes, Judge, as well as we will have multiple victim impact statements on this case, so it might take a little bit of time.
All right, Norma, we're going to close the record. Mr. Velasquez, could you unmute for me, please?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, what's going to end up happening is there is going to be a TAP evaluation. There is going to be an interview that's going to be done by probation. And based upon the interview that's done by probation and the pre-sentence report I receive and what other evidence is presented, the court will make a consideration on whether or not to follow your plea bargain agreement. You understand?
Yes, ma'am.
So it's very important that you make all of your appointments. You understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, Ms. Ferguson, could you go to breakout room number 2, please, with Mr. Ibarra and Meredith, if you could go to number 2, please. And Mr. Velasquez, I'm going to send you to 2 as well. And if you all could let Ms. Ferguson know what your dates are and how many witnesses you have so she can give the court a date for the next hearing. All right, Kurt May and John Gilmore.
Yes, Your Honor.
Yes, so what is happening with Rogelio Espinoza?
Okay, since we were last here, we have received the phone extract from the government, the state attorney on Friday. We are uploading that today, and then we will have to send it out to forensics analysis. The prosecution tells me they have yet to review that extract as well. We are a little stymied on a medication, physical doctor appointment for our client, which we think is crucial. That's because of COVID. We did comply with the court's request, and we did file 2 substantive motions, and I believe the court has those before them. We're going to need some more time, and we have reached out to the prosecution to open up a line of negotiation.
All right, so when is all of this review of everything going to take place?
Your Honor, we're going to move as fast as we can. The court is probably aware that with phone extracts, there's typically at least a 30-day period, most likely more though. I don't know how the government, the state is going to choose to do this. They probably have their own internal analysis, but we're going to have to send this out to an expert.
And if the defense has sent any motions to the court, those have already been addressed by the court. So were there motions sent to the court with regards
Yes,
to that?
yes, Your Honor, there was a motion to dismiss indictment as well as a motion for specific discovery.
Okay, so when are you getting this expert then?
Well, Your Honor, we literally are uploading it right today, like right now. So we're going to try to get that expert as quickly as we can and ship it off to them and wait for their analysis. But I'm going to look at what I can. It's just that some of the extracts from phones are virtually meaningless. They can give me some direction, but I'm not.
Right. If you and your and Mr. Gilmore, if your co-counsel, please go back to breakout room number 1.
Okay.
And David Martin, if you could meet us in breakout room, I'm sorry, not number 1, number 2. David Martin, if you could meet us in breakout room number 2 so we can get some dates.
I'm just here. They haven't sent me any place. Oh.
All right, Rogelio Espinoza. I don't see your client.
He's there, Your Honor. He just unmuted.
Okay, so Mr. Espinoza, we're going to come back on October 6th. You are excused.
Okay.
And it will be by Zoom.
Okay.
Thank you. Thank you, guys.
Thank you,
Eric
Ron.
Baker. I'm going to send you, I'm sorry, Kenneth Baker. Kenneth Eric Baker.
It's both, Judge.
I'm going to send you to number 3.
Okay, Judge, I apologize. I had to log into the 227th, but I'm back.
So the 227th is more important than the 187th? Is that what you're saying? Just asking, because we're going to take our break at 12:30. So Anybody who hasn't had a chance to confer, you're gonna have to come back. Brendan Lopez, you have Esther Harrell. Is that criminal trial division or family violence?
It's CTD, Your Honor.
Okay, I will send you to breakout room number 2.
Thank you, Judge.
You're welcome.
Your Honor, this is Teresa Conley. I spoke with my
Yes.
client and got some information. The soonest reset I can get, I would appreciate. I'll have to look up the information myself.
All right, I need you to go to breakout room number 1 and have your client come back to the main room.
Thank you.
Lorraine Efron? Yes.
I just need, I guess I just need to get you the discovery index. That's the only thing I can think of that we need today.
Oh, no, it was, do you have all the discovery?
Well, I mean, I have what's indicated on the index.
All right, because we're here because it says defense attorney states all discovery. So you have all the discovery and you did the motion to designated phone calls and I denied that. So is everything else done?
Yes, everything indicated on the index, I acknowledge I have in my possession and I can sign.
Okay, awesome. All right, Norma, on Mr. Joe Dela Cruz. Can I get a 30-day reset, please? And Mr. Dela Cruz, that will be your plea deadline date. What that means is the court will not accept any offers after that date. Ms. Efron, have you been given an offer first, though?
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, no, we don't have an offer? I think we do.
All right. Do you need to check with the state, Ms. Efron?
Well, I think last time we just weren't able to reach an agreement, so we just had to remain on the trial docket, and I don't see that there's any change.
No. You haven't been placed on a trial docket because I haven't given you a plea deadline date yet.
Okay.
Norma, can I have a 30-day reset, please, on Mr. Dela Cruz?
October 7th, Judge.
All right, October 7th is your plea deadline date, Mr. Cruz. Dela Cruz. After that time, the court will not accept any plea bargain agreement. So whomever you wish to talk to, you need to talk to. I'm going to send you to a breakout room with your attorney and your attorney will explain that to you. Ms. Efron, after you finish speaking with him, I need him to come back to the main room.
Okay, may I be excused from there, Judge?
But you have to make sure he comes back to the main room.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
All right. I'll send you to number 5.
Thank you.
And Mr. Cruz, if you go to number 5, please. Teresa Conley on Albert Aguirre. What is happening with Mr. Aguirre? You're on mute.
Said to bring him back to the main room. I think he did that. There he is. He's back to the main room. He gave me the name of his Wilson County attorney. I'm trying to get information from her. And the soonest reset I can get because he's been in jail for a long time.
All right, Norma, can you recall this for this week, please? And Norma, you're on mute.
Oh, sorry, I can do Thursday, Judge.
All right, we'll see you on Thursday. Norma, you can let them know that Mr. Aguirre can go back. He is L7.
Thank you, Your Honor.
You're welcome.
Have you excused?
Yes.
Thank you.
So Mr. Aguirre, we'll see you back on September 2nd.
Thank you.
Brenda, do you see what page Mr. Aguirre is on? Ah, found it.
Okay.
And then the other person I'm looking for is Velasquez. Do you see what page he's on?
It's page 12 on the trial docket.
All right, thank you. All right, the parties on, and this is going to be the last case that we're taking up before we take our lunch break. Who are the parties on Lawrence Hall?
I'm here, Judge.
Okay.
Marcus.
All right, the court is calling 2021 CR 7495, State of Texas versus Lawrence Hall. Can I have parties announced for the record, please, for the state,
Marcus Sanders.
for the defense?
Leslie Sahanovich.
And are you Mr. Hall? Could you unmute for me, please?
Yes, ma'am.
We're proceeding by video. Any objections from the state?
No objection.
Any objections from the defense?
No objections, Your Honor.
Mr. Hall, I'm going to show you a document entitled Defendant's Consent to Appear by Video Conference. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it? And did you electronically sign it?
Yes, ma'am.
Court will find that the defendant has knowingly and voluntarily consented to appear by video. Defense, I'm showing you what's entitled Discovery Acknowledgement. Have you received all the discovery in this case, and did you review that discovery with your client?
We did, Your Honor.
Court will find that the state is in compliance with discovery. Mr. Hall, I'm showing you what's entitled True Bill of Indictment. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, do you waive the reading of the indictment?
We waived reading.
State, are you proceeding on the indictment as presented?
Yes, Judge.
Mr. Hall, I'm showing you what's entitled Court Admonishments. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you electronically sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, ma'am.
You're charged with the offense of unauthorized use of a vehicle. That's a state jail felony. The range of punishment is anywhere from 180 days up to 2 years in the state jail facility and up to a $10,000 fine. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
If you have a plea bargain agreement with the state, the court does not have to follow your plea bargain agreement. If for any reason the court does not follow your plea bargain agreement and gives you more than you bargained for, the fact that you entered a plea will not be used against you and you will be allowed to withdraw your plea. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any reason, the right to confront any witnesses the state will call them, the right to remain silent?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand by entering this plea bargain agreement, you were giving up those rights?
Yes, ma'am.
And did you intend to give up those rights and enter into a plea bargain agreement in this case?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, has your client been able to provide you with any defenses to this offense?
He has, Your Honor.
Do you believe he has a rational as well as a factual understanding of the charges against him?
Yes, Your Honor.
Do you believe he's currently competent and was legally sane at the time of the offense?
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Hall, has anyone threatened you, coerced you, or placed you in fear to get you to enter this plea?
No, ma'am.
Has anyone promised you anything other than the plea bargain agreement to get you to enter this plea?
No, ma'am.
Are you satisfied with the way you've been represented?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you a U.S. citizen?
Yes, ma'am.
Court will find that the defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived his right to jury trial.
Thank you too.
Showing you the plea bargain page. Did you review that page with your attorney and did you understand it?
Yes, ma'am.
Off the record for a moment, Mr. Lopez, do you need to speak with your client?
Yes, Your
Mr. Esther, I'm going to send you to breakout room number 2. According to the plea bargain agreement, punishment is to be assessed at 180 days in the state jail facility. The state will reject any further drug cases arising out of Windcrest 203-7012. They will take in consideration 663-506-666-319. Did you understand that to be the plea bargain agreement, Mr. Lawrence?
Yes, ma'am.
Defense, is that the plea bargain agreement?
Yes, Your Honor.
State, is that the plea bargain agreement?
Yes, Judge.
Next, I'm showing you the paragraph entitled Waiver of Appeal. Did you review that paragraph with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you electronically sign it in both places?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand by signing that you're waiving your right to appeal the only items that can be appealed are written pretrial motions that have been filed, heard, and ruled upon by the court? Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, have there been any such motions?
No, Your Honor.
Then to the offense as charged in the indictment, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest?
No contest.
State, any evidence to support the defendant's no contest plea?
Yes, Judge. The state offer states Exhibit 1 and its attachments.
Any objections?
No objections, Your Honor.
Mr. Hall, I'm showing you what's entitled waiver and consent to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you electronically sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, ma'am.
Again, did you understand you have a right to jury trial, right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call and the right to remain silent?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand that today the state will be presenting evidence in the form of witnesses' statements and police reports, but most importantly, there will be no live testimony? Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived and consented to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. Court will accept into evidence states exhibits 1 and attachments and review the same. All right, after reviewing states exhibits 1 and attachments, the court will find there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty, and the court will find you guilty. Are we proceeding with sentencing? Leslie Sekwanowicz.
Yes, Judge, we're proceeding at sentencing.
All right, anything you wish to say on behalf of your client?
No, Your Honor.
Then the court will follow your agreement, find you guilty, sentence you to 180 days in the state jail facility, give you credit for any time served. State is to reject any further cases arising, any drug cases arising out of Windcrest PD 2037012, taking consideration 663-506, 666-319. Is there anything else from either side with regards to sentencing?
Nothing, Your Honor.
Mr. Hall, I'm going to show you what's entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Rights to Appeal. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it? And did you electronically sign it?
Yes, ma'am.
Because this is a plea bargain agreement, because I followed your plea bargain agreement, and because you waived your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
And because this is a felony conviction, you're not allowed to own or possess any weapons or ammunition. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, we can go out the record. Mr. Hall, you're at the crossroads in your life. How old are you?
39.
39 years old. Here are your options. You can spend the rest of your life in and out of prison. When people show up to the prison and they want to know how things are run, young people will come in, people are going to say, ask Grandpa Hall. And you know, you're going to be Grandpa Hall because you're going to be spending the rest of your life in prison. Time passes so quickly. Father time is not a friend to anyone. So your life can pass by you at the prison while you're there, or it can pass by while you're on the outside. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, good luck to you. And are you going to plan on getting more tattoos?
No, ma'am.
All right, I'm sure your mom probably had something to say about that. All right, have a great rest of your day.
You too.
All right, thank you. Norma, can you let them know 14M can go back?
Thank you. Thank you, Judge.
All right, you're welcome. Have a great rest of your day.
You too.
All right, Shauna, thanks for coming by. I hope you've enjoyed your time and this hasn't turned you off of becoming a defense attorney or a prosecutor.
Thank you, Your Honor. It was quite a whirlwind this morning. I think we attended 5 different courts.
Okay, but the most important court was?
Judge
187th.
All right, thanks. You have a great one. And Shauna, if you're ever looking for a mentor, just let me know. Or if you ever want to come by the court, let me know.
I truly appreciate that, Judge Boyd. You have a great day.
All right, thank you. You too, and good luck on your bar exam and the rest of your law school career.
Thank you, ma'am.
Bye-bye. All right, Michael Gross.
Judge David Martin, I conferred. We agree on the protective order for you to sign off. I'm sorry, Judge, son, Rudolph Montoya, 2021 CR 9952. We agree to you signing off, of course, with your permission, Judge, on the protective order that I squared away ahead of time with regional counsel with CPS. And there's also, Judge, a ankle monitor motion I filed on August 11th. The order on it gives you 3 options: remove the ankle monitor completely.
Oh no, that's already been done.
We had to redo it, Judge, where we're doing hours of the week now because his job as a realtor, and David Martin's okay with it. if we could do from 9 a.m. to 9 p.m.
All
throughout.
right, do this for me, Mr. Gross. If you
Yes,
can email David Martin and send me the email, your agreement on the bond motion.
Oh, okay.
Well, for the modification of bond conditions as it relates to the GPS, if you'll send me that email and include David Martin in the email for your agreement. And then Norma and Brenna, you can leave. We're taking our lunch break.
Okay, thanks, Judge.
All right, and Norma on Rudolph Montoya, can I have a 30-day reset, please?
Rudolph Montoya.
Yes.
And Judge, you want me to leave the order blank and just put in the email body that we agreed from 9 a.m. to 9
Oh,
p.m.?
no, if best, if you could do the order,
I'll type
put
it
the
in.
agreement in the order, yes, that would make it much easier for me.
Perfect, Judge. And then just send it to Norma.
Well, send it to include
Okay.
David Martin in the email, and then it will come to me.
Excellent.
October 7th, Judge.
All right, we're going to come back on October 7th. All right.
Judge, I'm supposed to be in Fredericksburg on that day on a motions hearing on a sex assault case. Can we do it the day before or the day after, please?
Norma?
I guess we can do it on the 8th.
All right, October 8th.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Thank you. Your excuse. Everyone else, we're going to take our lunch break. So anyone who hasn't been here, you're just going to have to come back after lunch. Sorry about that. So Brandon, on your client, Esther. Norma, can you have Esther call back? He's in breakout room number 2.
Okay.
I'm closing all the breakout rooms now. And Ms. Coulterman, we're going to have your attorney here, so just give us a moment. And Rebecca, please tell me, everyone gave you the appropriate conditions. Were there any problems?
I hope not.
Okay, all right. All right,
There's a
everyone.
living thin in there.
Yeah, everyone, we're going to stop live stream. We're going to be back at 2:15